If you change devices, you probably have to update your notification settings. Probably. Thank you.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
All right, give me a second to start Facebook. I should have been ahead of that, but I just now thought about it. So give me just a second. There we go. I have to do it twice always because it always says it didn't take. Boom. That'll work. Refresh, refresh. I saw that ice is showing up at people's homes that they have, like they run their plates, see what their address or record is, and then drive to their homes while people are, you know, following them around and videotaping them. Like, what the fuck? They basically, this girl, she's videotaping. She records following ice to her home that's on her plates, even though it's not her actual home, right? Because she's moved out. It's her parents' home. And they're like, here, we brought you home. Just so you know, we know who you are, Sarah, or whatever they say their name is. Like, tell me that's not like some weird, like, mob gang mentality bullshit. That's insane, right? She tries telling them, I don't live here. And they're like, that's fine. We got all your information. They use her name several times. They tell her their go-to line now is, oh, we were after a molester, a child molester, murderer who only molests and murders orphans. So you feel good about that? You feel good about following us around and preventing us from capturing this child molester, murderer, orphans? Huh? Huh? I don't know. It's so insane. All right, let's go. I'll see if I can find that video. I did not save it for the show, but I should be able to find it with a targeted search here. Hold on.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Well, welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Welcome. That's the page I was trying to find. And then let's search this. We did a stream yesterday. It did not get shared out. I don't think it made it to Telegram or other places. Some people said they didn't get the notification. It was on YouTube and Twitch both. And we went to a casino. That's the stream I had been talking about. We went to the casino. We went out and ate for Valentine's Day at a place called Kickback Jack's. It was pretty good. And then we went to the local casino. It was at it's the Bristol, Tennessee Harris. So I'm sorry, Hard Rock. We went to Harris last time we did a stream. We went to and just hung out there and streamed and talked about people watching and memorized the touch of the curse of bad luck. Ended up spending some money. I think I ended up cashing out the $191 and some change. So there you go. So that's what happens. Today's my birthday. We didn't really do anything. The day kind of sucked. It was rainy and all day and colder than it's going to be. And I said we'd go somewhere else some other time. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Liam is going to state championship. That'll be for mock trial. I told you guys we'll be doing that on, I think I got the dates. It's March 20th and the 21st. So next month on a Friday, Saturday is a competition. And there's that. So, yeah. No, we probably ended up losing some money at the casino, but we didn't pull out money and leave there with zero, right? So that was better than losing everything. Usually I just pull out an amount of money that I'm willing to lose and we just go spend it all. That's the way it usually happens. But this time I pulled out an amount of money that I was willing to lose and came home with $200. So either way, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed the stream at the casino. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. That's why we went out. Today's my birthday. Tomorrow is my late dad's birthday. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for following the stream. We had some donations come through the stream. I tried to thank everybody that donated yesterday. Appreciate it and hope you enjoyed the stream. We had fun. I thought it was enjoyable. That's the first time I had been to that casino, and I enjoyed it. So there you go. Either way, I'll see if I can find that video of the person following, or they're following us, just recording them. They're not impeding. They're not too close. They're not ramming them. They're not doing anything. And another ICE agent gets behind them and runs their plates, gets their name and address, and they go to the home that tag is registered under. It was pretty fucked up. I mean, it's stalking at that point. Before we get started, I did want to show this. This is Ryan Upchurch. Again, he's losing his mind. His baby mama got mad, left, took the kid with her. He said it was kidnapping. Ryan's doing this weird intimidation thing. So the first thing he did was he lied and said that his kid just disappeared, and as far as he knows, he's considering his child kidnapped, which is weird because he has cameras. Like, if he really thought something happened, he obviously went and watched the cameras and saw someone from her family or friends come and pick her up, right? She didn't take a vehicle, so she left with the kid, his baby mama. He's not married. He has no custody whatsoever. Even if he signed the birth certificate in the state of Tennessee, if you're unmarried, the mother has 100% custody. So then he went on this weird tirade. So he found out the city she went to. Then he made videos saying he was in that town. He said that he talked to the police there. They love him. He said he went to a coffee shop. All the girls went crazy, and they're like, oh, my God, Upchurch. He said he talked to the coffee shop owner and husband. And this is the mentality he's trying to scare his baby mama, right? The cops love me. The people love me. People know me here. You can't hide here kind of mentality, without saying that. He never said those things, but that's the message he wants to convey. Like, you can't hide here. I know I'm famous. I know everybody everywhere, right? That's the message he was trying to send. Then news gets out that's like, hey, Ryan's baby mama left him, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, he's a crackhead, whatever. You know, he's basically been going down. I'm not sure if he's using meth, but it's a meth-like paranoia black hole he's fallen down, right? Everybody's out to get him, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he goes through all that, and people start to find out, and people start to make videos on it. Hey, Ryan says his kid was kidnapped. Then he said, then people are saying, oh, she's missing. And, well, his baby mama is apparently in this town. I don't know how they found out where she was. So Ryan comes on to shut up all the haters. He's like, oh, all the haters, they can't get enough of this drama. They're just making stuff up. Me and Beth, his baby mama, he says, me and my baby mama, Bethany, are not even fighting. We're not even arguing. We're not even in an argument. That's the video he makes. Okay, I think I've got it. It's probably this one. No, it was all in his story. None of this is updated, I don't think.
All right, so check it out. I went to this antique store in Manchester, by where Wilson Beach was.
Yeah, this is all too old. Yeah, okay. So it was all in his story. He's like, we're not even arguing. They're trying to say that, she basically took the kid and run. We're not even arguing. But then people get on the court websites around where he lives, and he filed a restraining order against his baby mama. So if they're not fighting, they're not arguing, nothing's going on, there is no drama, why would he file a restraining order against the person that left him? Just because he wants to make her life hard, right? He can't do nothing about the baby. He doesn't have any custody. He can't do anything to get his kid back, right? He fucked that up. And instead of spending time off the internet and trying to prove like, hey, you should come back, we'll get this fixed, we'll work through it, we'll go to counseling, whatever it takes, right? If that's what you want a relationship with your kid or a relationship with your baby mama, fix one or the other or both, right? Instead of that, he's going to file a restraining order against the woman who left him. Now, he's not mentioned that at all. Then he goes on to a bunch of posts about, you'll see some of them here in a second. I'm going to play his story. He starts making a bunch of posts about how great his life is. He just went out and bought this new truck right here. He went out and bought a new car. He bought like 10 side-by-sides. Me and my brother started hiking again and blah, 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 blah. All these, my life's so great. Here's what you're missing out on. It's really interesting to look at someone who seems to be, I don't know if he's physically abusive. I don't know if he's verbally abusive, but you can watch these videos and tell that there's an aspect of emotional abuse, right? From the, my kid's been kidnapped, to I know everybody in the town that you're in right now. I know the cops. I know the business owners. I'm hanging out with people. I might buy a house here. Everybody loves me here and they don't love you here, kind of deal. To, oh, now look what you left. I'm just throwing money left and right. I bought 5 side-by-sides. And these side-by-sides, maybe $20,000 a piece. He bought fucking 5 of them. He bought a new truck. He bought a new car. He just like throwing money, kind of like, look what you're missing out on. Or now that you're gone, I could spend all this money. Something. So this is obviously a message to her because that's all he could think about without mentioning it. But watch some of these stories. We're going to watch some of them. Some of them we can't because the music will give me a copyright strike, but I'll skip those hopefully quick enough to where we won't get in trouble.
Oats, milk, water. It's gonna be a good day. My goal before summer is get my investigator license, get my boating license, and start a small firm of private investigators in Ashland City.
Why would you need your boating license to start a private investigation firm?
My goal before summer is get my investigator license, get my boating license, and start a small firm of private investigators in Ashland City. I'm trying to catch all these nasty pedophiles, bro. Who wants to do it
He needs a boating license to catch pedophiles.
with me? You know how you could study serial killers? Because they study serial killers and shit.
By the way, he's going through this crazy, everybody's a pedophile but Donald Trump because I still support him 100% and I think I'm secretly working with him. Bullshit. He's calling out pedophiles left and right, put them on an island with serial killers, blah, 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 but he can't admit Trump is, at least it's implied in the Epstein files that he was involved.
You stick all the fucking serial killers on a gulag island, and then you take all the pedophiles, you drop them there with the serial killers. There you go. Then you can study serial killers a little bit more than you could before. You know why there's a fuck Upchurch campaign? Because Upchurch don't fucking like pedophiles. Upchurch hates pedophiles. And pedophiles and people connected to pedophiles try to scare them.
So everybody that smears him or talks bad about him or hurts him in some way or just doesn't act the way that he wants them to act, even if they've never said anything, he takes that as an insult because they haven't said anything positive or whatever. If you don't act the way he wants you to act, it's because you're a pedophile or you protect pedophiles.
Motherfuckers into not talking about them or saying anything, but I'm not fucking scared of them. I'll drop my fucking nuts on their goddamn head. And all the pedophiles are worried right now, and they should be. Their friends should be worried. People who, listen, if you know about or
he also sends out this weird threat because he still thinks somebody's trying to kill him. So he's like, there's other people that are watching people that are may or may not be getting ready to do something to somebody.
Expect some pedophile shit and you don't say nothing, but you're as bad as a pedophile. Fuck you too. Now what I was saying was they're all scared right now because, well, everybody's figuring out where they are and they're being mapped out and everybody's just finding out about all the fucking people they're connected to and shit. And here's the thing, the fucking tables have turned because it used to be nobody knew where they was. Well, once people started figuring out where one was, they figured out where the next one was. And now everybody out here is just mapping everything out. Everybody wants to protect kids, mapping everything out. And now we're starting to know where they're all at and they don't know where we're all at. They have no fucking idea. They don't know who all the good guys are connected to, and it scares them, and it should scare them. See, look, how they work is they have a function that is integrated into every part of society, down to the restaurant, to the fucking judges, to the fucking Tennessee representative or the representatives. They're police. They're integrated in everything. See, that's why it's real important that we don't just blame it on, well, oh, it's just this group. No, well, it's pieces of each group. Man. You got to map it out in a way where you understand that there are people that are in these same groups, let's say like the cops, right? There's people within those groups that have no idea that these other cops may or may not be doing something, or whatever group it is. It's very hidden. And let me tell you something, these people are not...
He's going to investigate all the pedophile islands in Ashland City.
Powerful. That's why they have to be integrated in the system.
Oh, they're not
what
powerful.
They use the system with their buddies.
So you heard it here, folks. The elite pedophiles are not powerful.
That are in the system, little pieces of it, to pull certain strings to make certain things happen. But here's the thing, we can log that now. We can have proof of that. We can post it on the internet. We can have proof of Vanderbilt Children's Hospital making some weird emails saying they're going to stalk me when I leave.
So basically, when he says that Vanderbilt was going to stalk him, he had a run-in with Vanderbilt Hospital where as soon as he left, he acted like everything was fine. Then as soon as he left, he went on social media to attack them. And then they got a bunch of hate from all his followers, right? He claimed they were stealing babies, all kinds of crazy shit. So the next time he came, they put out a warning saying, hey, this guy is known to use our services. They go to social media to make all kinds of crazy claims. Be on your toes about this guy. Also, we'll check his social media when he leaves and see, that's the stalking. Because he went there once, then blasted him on social media. When he goes there again, they want to see if he's blasted him on social media again, especially if it rises to a level to where they can pursue legal action.
They have people on the back end that can get rid of pictures of people on Google, like when they got rid of all those pictures of John Rich holding a bunch of black babies for some reason, and don't say they're not true, because I'll post all of them. I have all of them. I save all this stuff. Very weird stuff going on, but I'm telling you right now, the people who are powerful are the ones.
They got rid of a bunch of pictures of the guy John Rich from Big and Rich holding black babies.
Ones out here saying, hey, fuck all you fucking pedophiles. Y'all want some? Come fucking get some. That's who's powerful. Us. We're powerful. They're not.
We're powerful.
Right now,
us.
you can use the American law in a courtroom to show everybody where these people really are. And there's also people sitting by, lots of people.
Here it is.
Waiting and watching for certain people to try to do certain things to people illegally.
So there's people sitting here watching and waiting for certain people to try to do illegal stuff to other people. So like snatch them up. That's him thinking that people are still trying to screw him somehow. People are just trying to get away from him and they don't want to be talked about anymore. Right? Because when Ryan talks about you in the negative, his followers come and attack you. Just like his lifelong best friend, Deerdorf, who he claims stole a house from him. By the way, I called this. I said, there is no way that Deerdorf has been living at that property and he doesn't own it. Ryan gave it to him. I guarantee that Ryan, at some point, just like when he claimed he didn't know that his lawyer was doing this legal work for him, and then we find a video of him telling his lawyer to do it, and then at some point, Ryan signed over this property. Or someone that had the power of Ryan, like a power of attorney or something, his mom or somebody that represented Ryan, signed over this property. And he's looking on an app that just has old information on it. It still says it's owned by Blue Moon, but I guarantee you that's not the truth. Right? This has been years since he gave the property away. Ryan's just forgotten about it. And that's what happened. You'll see it in just a second.
So they can get snatched the fuck up. How about that? I'll give you an example of somebody having really good proof of people doing illegal shit like that. You see, what they're doing is they're also using the real estate company to illegally forge names and try to fuck people out of their properties. But if you stay on top of your shit...
Did you like the casino stream at Sukkah? We talked about you in it. It's pretty based.
It can't happen. And it puts them in a pickle to where if it goes to a courtroom, they're absolutely fucked. Like, for instance, you know how John Rich came here and made that stupid fucking gay homosexual video where he's like, he has that lady in the beginning go, you think you own something and you don't own?
It was basically about, John Rich made a video about people's lands being seized for, I don't know if it was eminent domain or taxes or something. Some people were losing land because they were building something else, and John Rich made a video.
Nothing. That lady, yeah, well, let me tell you about this. So the people who fucked a bunch of paperwork up and did a bunch of illegal shit, my financial accountant guy, well, he's friends with John Rich. Now watch this. John Rich came to Cheatham County and was like, did his little gay music video, right? Well, guess what I just found out recently? So remember that text message I shared? Where he's like, the elites are going to kill you, man, Illuminati.
Rah, 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 rah.
Okay, well, that happens.
We love you, Atsuko.
I'm sitting over here, I'm like, how did
Clip that. You'll never hear it again.
Deerdorf transfer a house that was in my name in his name? How did that happen if I'm not there?
So how did this happen? Is Ryan Upchurch sat down with two different notaries with Deerdorf and signed the paperwork. A notary said, I reviewed his license. I sat here and made sure it matched. I went over the details with him. I knew what he was signing. He signed it. Here's his signature, and here's my signature verifying that he signed it. A different notary said, I looked at Deerdorf's license. I verified that it was him. Asked him some questions, made sure he knew what he signed. He signed it, and then I signed to prove that he signed it. Two different notaries. Now, what's Ryan's excuse? I've never been to that place before.
Didn't sign nothing. How did that happen? Well, I found out where this apparent signing went down, and these two notaries were at. I've never been there in my entire life.
Never, never, never. Just like he'd never been to that bank where the account was opened up, or he'd never been to Command Shift's office where they literally have a video of him and B-Loose there, or he made a post about being there. Like, the guy's got fucking meth brain. Again, I don't know that he's on meth, but that's the symptoms, except for the chubbiness.
And guess what? You want to see some crazy information about the lady that made this happen illegally, apparently?
All right, so we're going to stop this and read it. Now, imagine if you're a notary in Nashville. I'm sure there's times that you work with someone that has something to do with the country music industry. If you're a popular notary in Nashville, of course. And it says, so one of the notaries on that quitclaim deed is Angela Everett's. It says that she worked for the Tennessee Recording Company and Country Music Association, Inc. So I also don't know if you know this. A lot of notaries I've also have other jobs. Okay? They'll have other jobs, right? My sister was a Tennessee notary for a while. She did other things, and then when people needed to notarize something, she charged them a fee, come out and notarize after hours at your house, mobile, whatever. So it's not weird that a notary near Nashville has had interactions with a country music company. But Ryan thinks that's part of the scheme to steal all his property.
Well, I'll be damned. That matches the Jelly Roll thing, the accountant thing, the John Rich thing, the Deerdorf thing, and it's just a whole bunch of like weird.
Ryan's in country music, and he's like, it's so weird that people I keep running into and doing business with are also in country music. Is it though? Like, imagine if I was a mechanic who worked on your car, and then I was like, man, it's so weird. Everybody that comes to see me at work owns a car. Like, every one of them. Nobody's coming in here for me to fix their shoes or to build a kite or asking me to go fucking build a snowman. It seems like every motherfucker that comes here at my auto repair shop has a car and there's shit wrong with it. I don't even know what's going on. Conspiracy, dude.
Illegal stuff. I don't know. This is not the first time we've caught something like this. We've just been stacking up all the information. I mean, you know, it's crazy, but
I'm so glad that Beth left. I was really worried that he would go into one of these weird psychosis induced and then label her the enemy or try to use the kid as a negotiation tactic if he thinks that she's like, you know, talking to the enemy or whatever. I was so worried about that. Like, I would love to see him get better and raise his kid and take care of it. Blah, blah. I don't think anybody should be around him right now unless they're trying to get him to rehab.
I hope it all goes to a courtroom. I hope one of these motherfuckers get mad and like, I hope the fuck you do. Because I'm going to take this big American dick and fuck the shit out of all of you.
All right, we can't listen to music.
Fuck a hater, fuck a hater, fuck a hater, fuck a hater, fuck a hater.
These are not cheap, by the way. These are not cheap.
Fuck.
5 of them. That's a Turbo Razor.
Fuck a
Polaris Razor.
hater, fuck.
I thought one of them was Can-Am. A Razor.
Fuck a
2-seater Razor, 2-seater Razor.
fuck a hater. While I'm thinking about it, speaking of
So then he starts calling out other people in country music, saying, you remember the story where Chase Matthew got in trouble for having 16-year-olds on his tour bus?
fucking weirdos and pedos.
They are cool. We have one for the campground. It's a Pioneer 1000 6-seater. So it's got 2 bench seats. It's really cool, but we're getting ready to get rid of it. We had it during Helene when the road was all fucked up.
So, let's talk about this. Remember when I said all that shit about Chase Matthew? And I was like, hey, motherfucker, you had a pedophile in your fucking music video. Take that shit down. And he's like, no, okay, he's got views on it. Well, guess what? Tailgates and Tall Boys. It was Aaron Lewis, Ernest, a bunch of other people. I was supposed to be there. I didn't show up because I don't like none of you fucking weird motherfuckers. Chase, when you tell everybody what you got in trouble for? Wayne and Austin know what you got in trouble for. Had little girls on your bus, you fucking freak. Take me to court, bitch. It's true. You had 16
All right, there's going to be a few I have to skip here.
It was a big deal. Everybody talked about it. Tailgates and Tall Boys. Chase Matthew had 16-year-old little girls on his fucking tour bus. You're such a fucking pussy, bitch. You nasty motherfucker. You nasty. Like, what the fuck? Go out in the crowd and grab some MILFs. Praying hands, Jesus, praying hands, and then they got 16-year-old girls on their bus. I mean, come on. Come on. Disgusted. People are like, why you always by yourself? Because all these motherfuckers are weird, nasty, fucking disgusting motherfuckers. If you don't like me telling the truth about these weird motherfuckers that have 16-year-old girls on their tour bus, well, fuck you. Nobody's worried about you. Because we, the fucking people, are sick of this shit. And if I gotta be the spokesman that fucking tells y'all where these motherfuckers are at, I'm gonna keep doing it.
All right, so he's a pedophile spokesman.
Like I said, y'all don't know where the good guys are at. Go ahead, fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. Because you know who's on my team? Everybody who's not a fucking pedophile. There's more people that's not pedophiles than there are pedophiles. So, fuck all y'all. Y'all are all going down.
A bunch of other people's videos and all right, so this last one here, this one happens quick, so you gotta watch it, and it's going to instantly close after the video gets done playing. But he posts a video of like a kid chewing up a fucking fish and spitting it out like a little minnow, and it says it's built different. Then he shares a video of a kid saying like a cuss word, and it's like when you want to raise hell but you know the police are around or something. This is a video of Ryan Upchurch in his bathroom. And there's some type of German national music playing in the background. And we're looking at the bathroom floor. And then you got to watch when I get ready to play it. We're going to pan up to the camera. And then Ryan does a very interesting salute. Are you ready? See if you catch this. A very interesting salute. It's almost like a salute we've seen before. Here we go. What you got going on there, Ryan? I'll play the video for you at regular speed. What you got going on there? That's kind of weird, huh? You're just going to put that out there for the world? It's a joke. He's trolling. He's just doing it because the haters. Really? Here it is at full speed. I'm all for, hey, families should try to stay together if at all possible, as long as there's not like abuse going on, and it's better for the kids to have, you know, both parents in their lives and blah, 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 all that stuff, right? This guy's unhinged. He's probably a danger not only to himself, but to others around him. And I am so glad. You know, a lot of times, obviously Bethany will never see this, but if she did, there's going to come times that you're sitting about thinking that it wasn't so bad, that maybe he's changed, that it wasn't as bad as you thought it was, or you blew it out of proportion, and you're going to be gaslit, and times are going to be tough, and you're going to be thinking about going back to Ryan. You should not. Unless he can prove that he's been through some type of program. Women often go back or talk themselves into it or get in a bad spot or talk themselves out of what they, you know, thought before. You should not. But that's up to you, I guess. He seems dangerous. Honestly. He seems dangerous. Not just the Nazi salute, the erratic behavior and the spending and the paranoia and everybody's out to get me and I've never been here. I didn't say that, even though there's videos of him being there and saying that. Like, something's going on. And I wouldn't have my fucking kids around it. So there you go. It's one thing for an adult to be in that situation. It's a whole nother thing to bring a kid into that situation that doesn't have a choice, right? They don't get to choose to fucking go away or to be left alone, or you can't defend themselves or leave that situation. So there you go. That's your Ryan Upchurch update. I don't know what this one was. I just saw it while I was going live. So let's see.
I just found an Epstein file that describes in detail what is shown in a picture that's been redacted. Remember, as you read this, Republicans are actively saying this entire case is over and justice has been served. But the people who did this to an innocent human being are still not in prison. The image is at the top, as you can tell, completely blacked out, and you'll see why. But I'll include the file number so you can check this out yourself. It says the photo shows a girl, her face visible, who looks like a child with medium-length dark hair. Several white men are holding the girl's legs opened, Her parts are visible and gashed with blood coming out. In the photo's foreground, another man with a white shirt appears to be inserting something into her. A round imprinted symbol of some kind, maybe a brand, is visible on the girl's leg in the underside of her
Holy
left
shit.
eye. Additionally, the girl's mouth looks bloody and her tongue is extended. There's a bruise mark under her left eye, as you can tell, absolutely terrible. Additionally, this paragraph right here is pretty disturbing as well. It talks about a time when a French modeling agency sent Epstein 12-year-old triplets. It also talks about a phone message slip referring to lessons from 2 8-year-olds and how Epstein thought the younger the girls, the better. But all those people in that picture who were doing unspeakable things to an innocent human being are living a lavish life, not in prison right now. And while this is happening, Republicans want us to think this whole case is over and justice has been served. I just found an Epstein file that describes in detail what is shown in a
Damn, that was fucked up. That's probably some of the most graphic details I've seen from the Epstein files. We got ICE doing ICE things. This is that video that was finally released when they shot that woman. The woman that the car was beside them, and they're like, "Do something, you fucking bitch." And then they shot her 5 times, and the guy said, "Shot her 5 times, but she had 7 holes. Put that one in your books, boys," or whatever. That lady.
This is newly released body camera video. A team of 3 Border Patrol agents is driving through a Southside Chicago neighborhood. 2 have guns drawn. Marimar Martinez, an American citizen and school teacher, is driving next to them, honking her horn, warning people to the presence of federal immigration enforcement.
Okay. I don't think that's a crime, but even if it was, you wouldn't shoot at somebody doing that. You would just, I don't know, arrest them or something.
Another vehicle was
Do something. See, this is what I'm talking about. These people want a confrontation. Officers of the law are not supposed to want confrontation. That's supposed to be a last resort. Saying do something, bitch, means that you have an anger problem. You're an emotional man. You have an anger problem, and you want to cause violence. And guess what? These emotional men cause violence.
behind the agents, also honking the horn.
All right, it's time to get aggressive and get the out.
Yep, look at that. This is emotion. This is, just to be clear, you guys, one of the things you got to keep in mind, these are emotional men. Don't let fucking loser fucking red pill people go like women are so emotional. This is emotional men. I'm a man. I get angry, and I'm not particularly proud of myself when I get angry. It's an emotion. These are emotional men that are about to cause violence. When women get emotional, they cry. When men get emotional, they are violence. I just want to be clear. Keep that in mind. All right. If men, you need to keep that in mind because you need to understand that you are a very strong, masculine, and can be a very positive, productive presence. But if you let your shit get out of control, you can be very harmful. Okay.
Because they're trying to box us in.
It all happens in seconds.
Be advised, we've been struck.
They drove into her. What the fuck?
They hit her.
Martinez was shot 5 times and survived. In this surveillance video, you can see the front of the agent's SUV come to a stop. 4 seconds later, Martinez's silver Nissan drives off, she says, fearing for her life. The Department of
I'd fucking drive off too.
Homeland Security was quick to accuse her of attacking federal law enforcement.
This is insane, dude. Like we are living in the times. ICE is the fucking Gestapo at this point. These are criminals. ICE are criminals.
Saying Border Patrol agents were, quote, ambushed by domestic terrorists that rammed
Border Patrol are domestic terrorists.
federal agents with their vehicles. FBI Director Kash Patel posted on social media about the incident, quote, attack our law enforcement and this FBI will find you and bring you to justice.
At what point do we decide that this is treasonous behavior and we act accordingly? I'm just curious, honestly. I'm just curious.
The post also
I'm at a point now where if the next president could be fucking, I don't even, like, the next president needs to run on, like, harshly punishing every single person attached to Donald Trump at this point. That's insane. These officers should be, like, fucking at least fired. But holy fuck, all of them. What the fuck? You gotta hold the higher standard. It's so interesting that they'll be like, oh, the left, oh, if they make a joke saying something is gay, they're terrible people. We gotta hold them to a higher standard. But if people on the right kill people, it's like, no, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Wait, Trump's in the Epstein files. He doesn't have to release those. Wait a minute. I mean, pedophilia is okay now. Like, that's where we're at here.
also included a link to video of a car ramming, but it had no connection to Martinez's case. And the body camera video tells a different story. In the lead up to the collision, you hear agents say they are going to collide with Martinez.
We're going to make contact and we're boxed in.
And just before the moment of impact, it's Agent Charles Exum who sharply turns his steering wheel in the direction of Martinez. Proof.
This is what the guy did. This is what the officer did to Renee.
And then brag about it and shit.
They intentionally created a situation where they would get hit, or they would hit somebody because they wanted to justify killing somebody. You don't jump out of your car and unload 6 fucking rounds into somebody's car without wanting to kill them. Okay, that's just a fact. I'm sorry. And by the way, I want to respond to this comment because it's an interesting comment in the chat, and I think they're trolling, but they say, you guys killed Charlie Kirk, the left did that. I need you to be clear, and this is something that everybody needs to understand. Somebody with a mental health issue that was radicalized online, who had a radicalized MAGA family, but they were a radical leftist, went out and murdered Charlie Kirk, and it never should have happened. Donald Trump's ICE office is murdering American citizens in the street. There is a difference between somebody who has a similar ideology to mine, I guess. Not really. I'm for universal health care. I'm not for whatever they were fucking doing. That I have no attachment with other than they exist in America, versus Donald Trump and every extension of him going out and engaging.
They also try to use the excuse that she had a concealed carry, and this is the first time they had issues with concealed carry. She's legally allowed to conceal carry, and she had a pistol in a holster in her purse that was untouched the entire encounter. They can't prove that she touched it. They claimed, once they found the gun, they claimed that she drew a weapon on them.
Domestic terrorism. These are two different things. If you don't understand that, I don't know how to help you as a person. But there is a drastic difference between the two. You guys have been shitting, crying, bitching, and moaning that not all white people have caused racism or slavery, so white people shouldn't be responsible for it. I can agree with that. You guys have been talking about how it's not all men, only some men. I can agree with that. But the second some fucking delusional leftists murder somebody, all of a sudden it's everybody on the left. You guys have to keep. You have no morals. You need to get your morals together. You have to get your morals together. You guys are completely inconsistent. You guys are incredibly inconsistent. This is something to keep in mind.
According to her attorney, that they hit her vehicle, not the other way around.
And you can see the steering wheel.
You guys have to keep. You have no morals.
Watch the steering wheel.
You need to get your morals
before you hear the crunch. He jerks the wheel into it.
Get your morals together. You guys are completely inconsistent. You guys are incredibly inconsistent.
I backed up
something
too far.
to keep in mind.
According
right
to
here.
the attorney,
watch the steering wheel.
Hit her vehicle, not the other way around. And as for the claim of being boxed in, this surveillance video calls that comment into question, with nothing in the path ahead of the border agent's vehicle. The court also released text messages and emails from after the shooting, including one message from Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino, just hours after the incident, offering to delay the retirement of Agent Exum, who shot Martinez. In light of your excellent service in Chicago, you have much left to do.
Okay. How is it excellent service?
And then a text message exchange between Agent Exum and someone whose name was redacted. Are they supportive? Someone asked. Big time. Everyone has been, including Chief Bovino, Chief Banks, Secretary Noem, and El Jefe himself.
Yeah, all of them need to be fucking fired and tried for some kind of attempted murder or something.
Various texts to and from fellow agents. The mood was celebratory. Good job, brother. You are a legend among agents. You better effing know that. Beers on me when I see you at training.
Yeah, this is why people say defund ICE, just to be absolutely clear. You want to cry, bitch, and moan when fucking leftists talk about defunding ICE, and then you guys give every justifier why we should do that. It wasn't just this one guy. It was everybody in the car. They wanted violence. They were emotional men. Everybody up the chain supported, despite the fact that they saw the body camera footage. This is why people say, hey guys, we need to completely deconstruct it. I think that that's a radical change. You guys are telling me maybe that's what we need to do.
People are like, how the fuck would we survive without ICE? What do you think happened before 2002 or 2001, 2002? Before we had ICE. Or ICE is post 9/11. The system's broken, and unless you can get rid of enough of it to fix the system, then you're going to have the same problems.
At this point, I think we need to import more fucking Indian people on H-1B visas to be ICE while we deconstruct the whole fucking service. I don't know. I'm like, I think I'm 10%. I'm like 85% kidding. I don't know. So this is fucking crazy, dude. Maybe we need fucking Canada to come down and be our fucking, be our ICE agents for a while. Something. While these guys all get fucking fired and stay in jail permanently.
Oh, I am so fucking pissed at Canada right now. I should have yelled at Sage while he was here earlier.
That's awesome. You did real good. Damn it, man. Good shooting. The day after the shooting, Martinez was indicted. According to the complaint, she, quote, forcibly assaulted, resisted, opposed, impeded, intimidated, and interfered with an officer of the United States. After her attorney viewed the body camera footage and other evidence emerged that undermined the government's version of events, prosecutors made an extraordinary move and asked the judge to drop.
INS is what it was called before 2001. It was immigration naturalization.
Their own case. The judge agreed, but not long after,
The judge agreed to drop their own case? Holy fuck.
she told me the shooting still haunts her.
I don't want to remember that day. You're laying there at night and you're just thinking about it, like what's gonna happen. Like it's really emotional.
I still see like old shows and shit, like sitcoms and shit, when they talk about INS or happen to mention it or whatever.
To me. So it's like it's hard for me.
Yeah.
You guys remember the ice joke from The Office where fucking Rainn Wilson's character, Dwight, he hires day laborers at fucking, when he buys the building, he hires day laborers at Home Depot. And then he has his cousin dress up like ice and deports them. And he takes them to the middle of like fucking Philadelphia and tells them it's Mexico or whatever and just kicks them out of the van.
That.
Me to talk about it, but I'm trying.
If she was killed, like ICE agents wanted to kill her,
He doesn't take them to Philadelphia. He takes them. He says a name of a city. Then we take them to downtown. Is it? I can't remember.
Be here.
It's funny though.
Story, and we would have moved on. It's so unfortunate.
And that's part of why Martinez pushed to get all of this information out, because she believed it allows people to have...
This is the woman that was rammed and shot by ICE. Then she drove off after being shot, made it to an auto shop where they called 911. 911 responded. And ICE claimed all these things. They were boxed in. She attacked them. She tried to ram them off the road. They had to shoot after she flashed a weapon at them, blah, 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 all this crazy story. And they're like, none of this happened. She was arrested at the hospital. And then, of course, they had to drop all the fucking charges. Like, they just ran into her and shot her because she was following them, which is 100% allowed.
Greater understanding of how agents might react after something like this, no matter the city, and to further clear her name, because the Department of Homeland Security has never retracted its accusations against Martinez, even after the case was dropped. Now, the shooting agent, Charles Exum, Customs and Border Protection, said he's been placed on what was described as routine administrative leave pending further investigation.
Personally, let's take it a step further. Let's fire him, take away all of his benefits, and force him to pay back all the money that he made as an ICE officer. That's cruel and unusual, but you know what? I don't care. These people are inhuman fucking domestic terrorists, and I'm talking about ICE, so...
This is...
While I'm on this little ICE kick, let me see if I can find that video I was talking about earlier. None of those videos are about us. Why won't you update my watch history? Here's a video to watch while I'm fucking with this. Let's see. The guy that's in charge of the Navy. Oh. You do say it like that, Itsuko. English. Rah, 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 rah.
So who is in charge of the U.S. Navy?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Constitutionally speaking, as you know, we have civilian control of the Navy and of all the other branches of the armed services. So, you know, it's a civilian who's in charge of the U.S. Navy. Do you know who the civilian is who Trump put in charge of the Navy? One hint is that he's a man who never served in the Navy. Never served in the military at all. He has no known previous relationship of any kind with the Navy or with the U.S. military at all. Indeed, he was not known to have ever even shown any interest in the Navy or the U.S. military whatsoever before Donald Trump made him Secretary of the Navy. Why did Donald Trump put this guy in charge of it? I don't know. What the guy does know a lot about, what at least he is known for in the world, is his art collection. His name is John Phelan, P-H-E-L-A-N, Phelan. That's him on the left with his wife. Mr. Phelan is an art collector and finance guy who Donald Trump put in charge of the United States Navy for some reason. Now, is his art collecting itself perhaps Navy-related? Like, is he into paintings of ships?
Maybe.
Or famous naval battles of the 19th century? No, nothing like that. In fact, it's kind of a funny story. Around the time that Trump named John Phelan to be Secretary of the Navy, the art world press kind of awkwardly tried to sum up John Phelan's tastes in art. They tried to describe for the non-art world public who's just hearing about this guy for the first time, they tried to describe what John Phelan was known for in the art world, in case anybody was curious as to why Donald Trump might have landed on him, in particular for the job of Navy Secretary. A number of art world publications eventually sort of settled on what I guess is a representative quote, an existing quote from a former executive at Sotheby's describing the art tastes of Trump's new Navy Secretary. She described his tastes as, quote, a celebration of the sexual side of life. The publication ArtNet published photos of some of his collection in situ at one of his homes, photos that I cannot show you on TV. Other art world publications described, for example, a video art installation at one of his homes, which is just all Playboy centerfolds. There's also, famously, the floor at his, like, $38 million mansion in Aspen, Colorado. In an interview with the...
He's into weird sexualized paintings, and they have a mirrored floor at their house, and they joke about how, I guess you can see up people's skirts and shit. Just listen.
Artnewspaper.com. Trump's Navy Secretary, John Phelan, his wife, was asked by that publication, quote, what is the most surprising place you have displayed a work? And she answered, quote, in the living room of our Aspen home, we have a mirrored floor. It covers the entire space. It is amazing to see people's reactions at parties when they realize what you can see in the floor. Naughty and nice, end quote. That Aspen home with the mirrored floor, that is where John Phelan hosted a gazillion-dollar fundraiser for candidate Donald Trump in August 2024. That fundraiser made news because it was one of the times Trump stated his made-up claim that prisons in the Congo were releasing all their murderers in order to ship them to the United States. He told that tall tale at the house with the, quote, naughty surprise mirrored floor, whose owner Trump soon named to run the United States Navy, despite him having no connection to the Navy at all. Incidentally, that Aspen fundraiser was one that Trump flew to on an airplane that had previously belonged to Jeffrey Epstein, which itself made some headlines at the time. The campaign said at the time that that was just a coincidence. But, you know, in the course of time, Trump got reelected to the presidency in November of 2024. He really did name this guy, John Phelan, the rando sexual side of life art collector with the mirrored floor, to run the United States Navy. And Congress really did.
Kind of a weird guy to put in charge of the Navy, no?
Did force Trump's Justice Department to release at least some of the government's files on Trump's friend, the late convicted pedophile and child sex trafficker, Jeffrey Epstein. And, perhaps inevitably, among the revelations in the Epstein files was this headline: John Phelan, Trump's Navy Secretary, listed in Epstein flight logs. John Phelan, the billionaire art collector whom President Donald Trump appointed to oversee the U.S. Navy, appears to have traveled on at least 2 transatlantic flights with Jeffrey Epstein. The flight manifests list Epstein, Phelan, and a handful of other men, including Jean-Luc Brunel, a French model scout who was accused of rape during the 1990s and later of providing girls to Jeffrey Epstein. Brunel was found dead in his jail cell in France in 2022 after being charged in a related case. Authorities ruled it death by suicide. Epstein's aircraft was nicknamed the, quote, Lolita Express because, as some of Epstein's accusers have said, he frequently had young women and girls aboard the plane to entertain his guests. CNN was first to report on Navy Secretary John Phelan's flights with Jeffrey Epstein. They also published this flight log from the Epstein files, where you can see the Navy Secretary's name listed there. He's number 9 on the flight manifest. Now, nobody has claimed there were definitely any young women on board this plane or girls on board this plane, but we don't know who the other 6 people are whose names are redacted from this flight manifest for whatever reason. Why were those people having their names redacted? So who is in charge of the U.S. Navy? Constitution.
Kind of weird, no?
As you know, we have...
And it's weird that that was the one that Trump flew on Epstein's plane to his fundraiser. I feel like a Q-tard when I'm thinking, like, how many fucking coincidences can there be? Right?
Right off the bat,
this is a good video too. I didn't play it though.
Say that I think I know the name of the person who arguably is the biggest beneficiary of Donald Trump starting an inexplicable war in Venezuela this weekend. And again, I do think it's arguable, but there is a good case to be made, I believe, that the single biggest winner in this whole situation is a person named Karen Bud Phelan. And the reason you can tell she is the biggest beneficiary of the Venezuela invasion is because no one within the sound of my voice right now has any idea who that is. Karen Bud Phelan. Who? Have you ever heard this name before? Has anybody ever heard of this person? No? No, nobody knows who this person is. Karen Bud Phelan is the number 3 official in the Interior Department under Donald Trump. She also served in the same department during Trump's first term. Karen Bud Phelan's family has a ranch in Nevada. And there's a company that wanted to build a huge mine, a huge lithium mine in that part of Nevada. And lithium mines, among all their other many splendid things, they do take a ton of water. So during Trump's first term, while Karen Bud Phelan was working at the Department of the Interior, Karen Bud Phelan's husband sold the water rights from their ranch in Nevada to the mining company that was going to build this big mine. They said, we're going to pay you $3.5 million for the water from your ranch. The only catch, the only contingency is that the full deal only goes ahead if our mine gets approved by the Interior Department.
Uh-oh.
If the mine doesn't get approved, then the deal's off. You can see there's a real financial incentive there, right? If the mine isn't approved, deal's off, but if the mine is approved, you guys are going to get paid millions of dollars. Karen Bud Phelan works at the Interior Department, which has to make the decision about whether or not to approve this mine. During Trump's first term, she meets with the mining company. She meets with them at the cafeteria at the Interior Department. Hey, guys, want to hang out? And then, hey, wouldn't you know it, turns out that mine got approved. And it got approved on a fast track so it could avoid the pesky environmental reviews and all the rest and all the other reason that people were protesting against it in Nevada. But the other result of that approval at the Interior Department is that, bingo, Karen Bud Phelan's family was now going to get paid their millions of dollars. So before Christmas, the publication High Country News and veteran reporters at Public Domain on Substack, they published reporting, really explosive reporting about this top-ranking official in Trump's Interior Department, and what really does appear to be like the simplest possible explanation of what public corruption looks like, right? Like if there's a public corruption child's picture book, this is the kind of story that would be pictured, right? You don't even need words really to understand this. Family stands to be paid millions of dollars if government agency does X. Family member from that family works at that government agency. Agency, in fact, does X, so family gets paid. Right? That's it. This is how you'd construct like a Mad Libs about public corruption in order to explain it to people who understood nothing simpler than anything else you could imagine. But that story, that very explosive story about this Trump administration official, it hits in these smaller publications before the holidays. Then this weekend, the New York Times jumps on it, and the New York Times adds their own reporting, and they blow it up. Headline: the Trump administration approved a big lithium mine. A top official's husband profited. Karen Bud Phelan, the number 3 official at the Interior Department, did not disclose a $3.5 million water rights contract between her husband and the of a Nevada mine. The Times got a
What? Why wouldn't she disclose that contract?
Comment from Phelan's husband saying that that meeting in Washington at the cafeteria of the Interior Department, that was like just a big coincidence. He said that was purely a social occasion. Definitely nothing to do with her agency doing something that makes millions of dollars for her family. They just ran into each other at the cafeteria inside the agency. The mining company gave a comment essentially along the same lines, saying that it wasn't that they were meeting with her in any formal capacity when they met with her at the Interior Department. It was, it was just fun. How could it be a bad thing? So that story in the New York Times is prepped for Saturday. And on Saturday morning, it is the big national headline on the front page of the New York Times website. And Karen Bud Phelan is about to be very famous for this, right? Like at least as famous as Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, who's reportedly on tape taking $50,000 in cash stuffed into a kava bag from undercover FBI agents working a bribery case, right? Tom Homan initially refused to explain what had happened there at all. Then he denied that he took the money. We're still waiting any day now for the Justice Department to disclose its files on that case, and indeed maybe the tape. Senate Democrats have asked why that case against Tom Homan was closed mysteriously once Trump became president. We are awaiting DOJ disclosures on that any moment. But, you know, I mean, if Tom Homan could be very famous, if Tom Homan's kava bag can be famous for something like that, I mean, Karen Bud Phelan was about to be famous for this. So if you had to name someone who benefited the most from the insane breaking news this weekend that the United States military just invaded Venezuela and took its president, I think Karen Bud Phelan at Trump's Interior Department might be a good nominee. She was otherwise poised to be very famous, but whoop, that story was absolutely
weird
for all the obvious reasons.
Weird how that happens.
You've already forgotten what her name is. I just said it like 20 times. You already couldn't say it back to me if I asked you.
Karen Bud Phelan. Got it. Check. Locked in, chat.
Here, I'm going to go out and
All right, one more. I was actually going to play this video the other day, but I didn't.
So the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, posted this on social media late last year, swears included. She posted, quote, "I am recommending a full travel ban on every damn country that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. We don't want them, not one."
Imagine posting that, dude. Imagine posting that on your personal page and you're not connected to politics in any way. And then imagine it as being the fucking Kristi Noem. Like, or connected to Trump in any fucking capacity.
This was less than a month after the Trump administration had announced they were revoking the legal status of immigrants from Haiti to this country. That's more than 300,000 people from Haiti who live and work in this country legally, here under a legal designation called temporary protected status. The Trump administration announced they were going to revoke that legal status, and it was going to be effective at midnight Tuesday this week. And just think about the practical impact of that. This is a huge number of people. We're talking about more than 300,000 people who are here in this country legally. But at the stroke of midnight, they were suddenly and immediately going to become illegal.
And then he gets to round them all up and say, well, they are illegal, right? Because you removed their statuses.
We're going to become, therefore...
And then the same people will be like, look, we don't care if you come here the right way. You just signed a document that people that came here the right way and made thousands of them not here the right way.
In the eyes of the Trump administration, in the eyes of ICE, they were going to become immediately eligible for arrest and imprisonment and deportation by ICE. The sudden ending of that temporary protected status for more than 300,000 people was challenged in the courts. And in a buzzer beater, a judge in the case just headed it off. Just one day before the deadline, the judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration from doing what they wanted to do. People from Haiti who are here under TPS will be able to continue to live and work in this country while the case is being fully litigated. But I want you to know, the reason I think this is worth knowing about is because the language of the ruling. In the ruling on this case, the judge just absolutely excoriates the Trump administration. This is from the ruling. Quote, President...
Oh, thank you, Fell Runner. I appreciate it. Happy birthday to you, too.
Trump has referred to Haiti as a bleep hole country, suggested Haitians probably have AIDS, and complained that Haitian immigration is, quote, like a death wish for our country. Quote, he has also promoted the false conspiracy theory that Haitian immigrants were eating the pets of the people of Springfield, Ohio. He stated, quote, why is it we only take people from bleep hole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few from Denmark. It is not a coincidence, the judge says, that Haiti's population is 95% black, while Norway's is over 90% white. The judge continues. Secretary Noem complains of strains unlawful immigrants place on our immigration enforcement system.
I don't know. I've been watching a bunch of videos of politicians that can't say America first or Israel first. They can't answer that question.
Answer, turn 352,959 lawful immigrants into unlawful immigrants overnight. She complains of strains to our economy. Her answer, turn...
I know America first has weird implications tied to it for saying it. But obviously, like, we should be more worried about America before Israel. I understand we still need to help everybody and do, but that's a pretty obvious answer to that.
Employed
without the weird social implications of the question.
Lawful immigrants who contribute billions in taxes into the legally unemployable. She complains of strains to our healthcare system. Secretary Noem's answer, turn the insured into the uninsured. This approach is many things. In the public interest is not one of them. The judge continues. Plaintiffs charge that Secretary Noem preordained her termination decision and did so because of hostility to non-white immigrants. The judge says, quote, this seems substantially likely. The judge actually includes a screenshot of Kristi Noem's tweet where she calls immigrants leeches and killers. And then the judge ends her ruling with this, quote, "There's an old adage among lawyers. If you have the facts on your side, pound the facts. If you have the law on your side, pound the law. If you have neither, pound the table." Secretary Noem, the record to date shows, does not have the facts on her side, or at least has ignored them. She does not have the law on her side, or at least has ignored it. Having neither the facts nor the law, and bringing the adage into the 21st century, Secretary Noem has
She pounded Twitter. This is like a scathing review from a judge, right? You don't have the facts on your side. You don't have the law on your side. So instead, you pound Twitter.
Kristi Noem has a First Amendment right to call immigrants killers, leeches, entitlement junkies, and any other inapt name she wants. Secretary Noem, however, is constrained by our Constitution to apply faithfully the facts to the law in implementing the TPS program. The record to date shows she has yet to do that. And then, so ordered, the judge blocks the Trump administration from turning more than 350,000 people who are here legally
That's right.
into undocumented immigrants overnight. I should tell you that the Trump administration was gleefully reportedly planning to send ICE agents to Springfield, Ohio, as early as this Wednesday morning. More than 12,000 people who are immigrants from Haiti live in Springfield, Ohio. This is an immigrant population that, of course, Trump and J.D. Vance have targeted before. The administration was likely counting on the fact that there would be 12,000 people in that city who, would suddenly be newly deportable as of Wednesday morning when all these new ICE agents were going to show up.
Happy birthday from Michaela Robertson. Thank you very much, Michaela. Happy birthday to you, too. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donation.
At least legally speaking, that will no longer be the case, thanks to this absolutely blistering ruling from a federal judge. Watch this space. So the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, posted this.
Next. I feel like it's already the dystopian future. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
So we now have confirmation that Marmel Martinez, a woman who was shot 5 times by the agency in Chicago last fall during Operation Midway, where they flooded the streets of Chicago with agents just looking for anybody to kidnap. When they shot her, they were hunting her down. We have pretty much complete confirmation this happened. And the reason that they hunted her down was because she had reposted on Facebook another person's post where they said, oh yeah, a agent actually has a YouTube channel, and all she wrote in her repost was, they found him. That was enough of a pretense for the agency to log her in a database with her face, her name, and a bunch of other social media posts that they scraped. So that way that when she was able to be identified on the streets, that the agents could feel that they were in the presence of somebody who was a direct threat to their life because she reposted another person's Facebook post. And they shot her 5 times for this. When you pair this with Ken Klippenstein's reporting, which suggests that actually that agency has already infiltrated most anti-agency group chats on Signal and on Discord, trying to unmask. You need to basically be moving at this point with the understanding that if you are out there on the streets, if you are any level of vocal online, they absolutely know who you are. They can recognize you immediately because that's what they're doing. They are launching people they view as too vocal and too against them, and then they're hunting you down like fucking animals. And let me get this straight. The main line from Democrats is that we just need to reform this. So we now have confirmation that Marmel Martinez, a woman.
They're using your social media posts in context with identifying who you are to prove that you're a threat to them so they can fucking shoot you in the streets. So that's cool.
DHS is trying to unmask anti-ICE accounts online. And they're doing that by issuing administrative subpoenas to Google, to Facebook, Meta.
With the last name Winkler, you should always show up in the chats and just say, "Hey," and that's it. No yo, no hello, just "Hey," thumbs up or something.
Instagram, and to Twitter, etc. And this is part of the Trump administration's flood the zone tactic to try to exhaust, overwhelm, and drain us of all of resources. But while this headline might look scary, it's actually not as bad as they want you to think it is. They being the Trump administration, who are trying to intimidate us all and stop us from criticizing their American Gestapo. Now, if you're worried about this, if you think that this might have happened to you, you should rest assured.
I know I'm on government lists. Watching this show probably puts you on a government list, to be honest with you.
Knowing that if a company receives an administrative subpoena like this, they're going to message you about it. You're going to get an email, you're going to get a notification. And the only time that these companies don't do this is in extreme circumstances, which doesn't really apply here. Now, for the people that this has affected already, this can be a tremendously costly thing. What the companies do is they reach out to the user whose account information has received an administrative subpoena, and they put the onus on the individual to go to court to basically issue a stop order. Now, most people don't have the money for a First Amendment lawyer, let alone know a First Amendment lawyer who could help them within 10 days. But you should know that the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, has been helping individuals who've been affected by this. And in all of the cases outlined in this New York Times story, when the ACLU has gotten involved, gone to court, the DHS lawyers just give up. Now, will DHS eventually exhaust and drain the resources of ACLU if they keep this up? Yeah, probably. But there's a way that we can fight back against this. And that is to just make extra accounts on all of these platforms and post stuff that is critical of ICE, and especially repost stuff that is giving information about what ICE is doing locally, because that seems to be what they're most concerned.
They're unstoppable with a bottomless budget, and it's on you to take them to court to put in a stop order. That's how they're getting away with it. How many people can afford to hire a fucking lawyer, miss work, shut down everything, and spend the next 6 months in court trying to stop them from seizing all this data?
To just make extra accounts on all of these platforms and post stuff that is critical of ICE, and especially repost stuff that is giving information about what ICE is doing locally, because that seems to be what they're most concerned about. And as long as you're not using these accounts to break the law, like, it doesn't matter if a subpoena gets issued. So don't let DHS or this headline scare you into like posting less critical takes on what ICE is doing, or prevent you from sharing information about what ICE is doing in your community. Use this as motivation to fight harder. If you haven't received a subpoena yet, which I have not, you haven't made an impact, I guess, as far as ICE is concerned. We all need to work harder, apparently. So good luck, and let me know if you get your subpoena soon. DHS is trying to unmask anti-ICE accounts online.
I really like this guy's account, by the way. He's like a veteran that infiltrated a bunch of hate groups and teaches other people how to infiltrate these hate groups, and then report, back when we had an administration that gave a fuck, then report these groups and what they're doing to agencies.
Just because the DOJ and the FBI are compromised, that doesn't mean that the Epstein victims can't get
Christopher Goldsmith, I think's his name.
Elsewhere. In fact, there's something like 10 other countries that are already opening investigations into the files. And that includes some of our NATO allies. These countries include UK, France, Norway, Sweden, Poland, Latvia, and Lithuania. And that's just the start. And there are millions more files that need to be dropped that are probably going to pull in other countries and start their own investigation. Now, while the Trump administration is not going to be helpful at all and participate in doing things like extraditions for anyone who is found guilty of some heinous crimes in those countries, especially if they have Trump connections, or if they're currently working in the Trump government. These investigations, the warrants, the subpoenas that come from it, it's going to make it really hard for these elites to travel. It's going to complicate their business dealings. And if they own anything in those countries, they're at risk of things like seizure. And while it's great that these other countries and some of our allies are going to be doing these investigations, we should not leave it up to people outside the United States to fight for the Epstein victims. I would be surprised if Epstein files that are currently out today don't touch on all 50 states. And I'm sure they touch on every single major city in the U.S. And here's where you can make a difference. The Epstein Transparency Act passed.
He does. I've seen him. Well, I've seen him like do almost like podcast style videos on that Valor Media Network.
Wanted to, right. But because the people demanded that Congress do it. So the American people have already accomplished something that's very difficult, getting Congress to pass a bill and have the President of the United States, Donald Trump, sign it against his own interests. So the hard part's done. Now, here's the easy part. When you call your state representative, or when 100 people call your state representative, or your governor...
He is a veteran. I don't want to compare resumes, but I was a Boy Scout for several years.
Office or your state's attorney general's office, they're much more likely to notice. Comparative to your member of Congress, they're much easier to influence. So if we take even a fraction of the energy that it took to get the Epstein Transparency Act passed at the federal level, we could probably get 50 state laws that demand transparency and investigations into the existing files. So whether you're in New York or California or Florida or Texas.
All right, let's see what else he's done recently. I'm sure one of these pinned videos probably explains who he is, but
Man, I'm watching this DHS hearing, and I thought it was going to go in a whole different direction when Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez started speaking. The guy is a vet, spent 20 years in the military, including deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. And he...
Oh, I fucking hated this guy. I hate this guy's testimony. Wait, do you hear? He's a veteran who's deployed, combat deployments. This motherfucker says he talks to ICE agents, and they say it's like being back in Afghanistan. And instead of him saying, hey, fuckstick, this isn't Afghanistan, these are U.S. citizens, he's like, oh, we probably need to get them more equipment and gear.
Started his questioning by telling a story, saying that he had connected with some ICE agents on the ground so that he could get the ground truth and learn what it's like. And the ICE agents, according to his retelling of the story, said, oh, sir, it's like Fallujah. And now, as someone who's been to Iraq multiple times, as he was, and I went to Iraq for a year, which was enough for me, I thought
that Representative Tony Gonzalez was going to tell a story about how it is crazy that ICE agents think that they are in a war zone fighting an insurgency.
Yes, that's the point to make here. That's insane.
On the streets of the United States. They think that they are an occupying force. Instead, Representative Tony Gonzalez, he went full MAGA and just said, oh, well, you know, if they think that they're in Fallujah, I know what it's like to be in combat, so maybe we should give them bulletproof windows for their cars. Tony Gonzalez has sworn an oath to protect the Constitution of the United States against all...
When IEDs start going off while they're driving down Main Street, then we'll start comparing it to a fucking war zone. Until then, his time as linguist, a Spanish language linguist in the military, I do not think qualifies him to make these decisions.
Domestic. And when state forces are occupying American cities and murdering innocent Americans and violating people's constitutional rights left and right, his solution is not to protect constitutional rights, but to provide more armor to a bunch of maniacs who are already murdering Americans and treating people like they are under military occupation in a foreign country. This phenomenon is called the imperial boomerang. The United States spent 20 plus years with the global war on terror, where we were going and imposing our will on foreign people, treating them without humanity, and like other countries that have gone on these types of military adventures, we are now treating our own citizens as we treated the people that we were occupying overseas. Now we have guys who fought in that conflict, and Tony has multiple deployments, who are endorsing that kind of violence against their own people. They aren't just doing it rhetorically. He was promoting a bill. He's writing legislation that would provide ICE even more military hardware that they could use to violate people's constitutional rights. Man, I'm watching this DHS hearing and I thought it was going to go in a whole different direction when Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez started speaking. The guy is a vet, spent 20 years in the military, including
oh shit,
in Afghanistan.
Bug dude, why didn't you tell me you sent me the video that I was just talking about that I couldn't find earlier? You sent it to me and I forgot that's where I fucking found it from. I'm an idiot. Hold on. I've been looking for this video for like 20 minutes about the ICE agents, and Bug Dude sent it to me. Check this out.
Absolute fucking nerds ran my plates when I was yelling at them at Walmart North. So now they drove all the way to Claremont, to my old address, to my parents, to try to fucking
4 towns away. 4 towns away.
Intimidate me like they know where the fuck I'm.
Forgot I sent it. Oh.
Look at this.
I was wondering, I was like, what did I search to find this? Or was it just in my news feed? I couldn't find it. Looking.
Do you think I'm impressed?
Look, they showed up at her parents' house, which is where the plates came back to. Now they're going to get out and be like, we know who you are, and say her name and all this weird shit.
What's up?
Trying to they're waving at her. See?
This isn't where I live. That's fine. But this isn't where I live.
Your parents still pay all your bills?
No.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
If my parents paid all my bills?
We just want to make sure you got home.
This isn't where I live.
It's okay, Olivia. We appreciate it.
You can go talk to them.
By the way, this guy 100% sucks dick. Just saying. I'm not judging him for it. It's kind of weird that he's an ICE agent, but 100%. Just watch the way he moves his hands, watch the way he talks. 100%. He has been extracted from West Hollywood and placed into a fucking ICE agency.
Fine, but this isn't where I live.
Your parents still pay all your bills?
No.
Because I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
If my parents paid all my bills?
We just want to make sure you got home.
This isn't where I live.
It's okay, Olivia. We appreciate it.
You can go talk to them.
There it is, Olivia.
Where I live.
So if this is not where your vehicle's registered, you might want to look that up with their state.
It is, buddy. My address is correct on my ID and where my car is registered.
Okay.
Good try, though.
All right. Thanks, Olivia.
Do you feel strong or what?
We're good. Have a great day, okay?
I'll keep following you, okay?
Oh, no, she doesn't care. It's all right. No, come on. She doesn't care? She doesn't care. They never do.
How's it feel to be a race traitor?
You know, we were trying to get a child molester, right?
No, you weren't.
Yes, we were.
How would you know?
That's what they always say. That's what they always say. Everybody Happy birthday, Big Willie style, Jason or Jen and Jason. Thank you very much for 10 6-packs. I appreciate that. Thank you for the donation. Happy birthday to you as well.
Because it was a woman you talked to.
They always say this. We were right on the verge of getting a child molester, and then you blew your whistle. How you feel? How you feel for cheering for child molesters? Well, how you feel about they always say that shit?
Why? And then his plate came back as murder.
I was supposed to say
murder.
Race traitor.
A murder. Well, we were talking to a woman, but then we ran his license plate, and his plate came back as murder. So now how do you feel? What if I told you he murdered exclusively puppies and orphans? Huh? How do you feel now?
But you guys don't care.
I hope you realize that is the most racist thing you can say as a white woman.
Of course,
and
it is.
So this isn't a good look for you.
You think I care about my look?
No, trust me.
When you guys,
this is not it, girl. Have you seen your bangs?
It's evident by how you look. You don't care. We get that. Trust me. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying this.
100%. 100%. 100%.
And plate came back as murder.
Also, I was supposed to say
the plate came back as murder.
I'm a race traitor.
But you guys don't care.
I hope you realize that is the most racist thing you can say as a white woman.
Of course.
I know you don't care how you look. I can tell by the top you chose with those shoes.
It is.
So this isn't a good look for you.
You think I care about my look?
No, trust me.
When you guys
it is evident by how you look. You don't care. We get that. Trust me. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying this. Trying to be a social warrior. If you actually cared, you probably would care about the child who got raped and also the person who got murdered by the person that we were looking for. But see, you don't care.
No, I don't care because you guys tried.
Thank you.
Tried.
How are they all out here looking for murderous child molesters? But 90% of the people that they've got in detention have not committed a crime at all.
Detain legal immigrants. None of you actually give a shit.
Really?
If you were here to get
$50,000 bottom bonus.
illegal, violent immigrants off the street, that would be fine. That's not what you're doing.
It's not. No, hold on. It's okay. She
You
said
need to back up.
It's not.
It's not what you're doing.
Just so you know, if you were to spray that, you would be arrested.
That's fine.
Okay.
Don't come close to me.
Well, we're gonna tell you this. Stop following us.
No, it's not illegal.
So you don't want us to come close to you, but you keep riding our tail.
I have given you plenty of distance the entire time.
Okay. Just so you know, if you do impede, I want you to hear this.
Me following you is not impeding. I'm well aware of my rights, buddy.
If you impede, you will be arrested.
If you impede.
I'm just letting you know.
What are you looking for, you fucking weirdo?
She put that OC? It's right?
Yeah, she did. But
what are you looking for, you
What did they just say? Hold on.
Just letting you know.
What are you looking for, you fucking weirdo?
She put that OC? It's right?
Yeah, she did. But
fucking weirdo?
She pulled out OC, that spray. They said if you use that, you're getting arrested. She pulled out her, which I would too. Car surrounded by guys in masks and shit. Obviously you can't use it in this scenario, but I damn sure would have it in my hand, ready to go.
See, it's right.
We're all fucking getting pepper spray today, motherfucker.
She did. But
what are you looking for, you fucking weirdo?
You ought to see the handbag he bought with that bonus.
All right.
Keeps his bear mace in it.
Let's go fucking annoy some more legal citizens.
OC.
How about it? Is your family proud of you?
Right. You could have got 6 child molesters in the time you drove to my parents' home to try to scare me.
So why is he illegally riding in the trunk of the car?
he's not. This is a free road.
Yeah, he was illegally riding in the trunk of the car, you fucking Nazi! These absolute fucking nerds.
That's 100% intimidation and stalking, right? They run your tags, drive to your house, get out, call you by your name, make a bunch of threats, challenge your hairstyle, maybe challenge you to a dance-off. Yeah, it's pretty fucked. That's the most recent video that we got.
These absolute fucking nerds.
No, sir, this isn't a good look for you. Olivia, you ate, and this is a great look for you, gorgeous. Them arguing with you is so unprofessional. Yes, 100%. How he was feeling. Small dick gang. I hope your coffee always tastes perfect. Olivia, this is my first impression of you, and I love it. Fuck ice. Olivia giving a 10. Tiny Dick Gang. Girl, I love you. The fact they said any of that to you is so ridiculous and unprofessional. Knocks work, Olivia. Stay safe, Olivia. You absolute badass. The guy that said this is not a good look for you, girl, this is a fashion statement. You're killing it.
Butthole Knives _ gifted Abri0301 a subscription. Butthole Knives _ gifted a tier 1 sub to Abri0301. They have given 2 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you for the gifted sub, but have you noticed that the robot calls you Butthole Knobs? I mean, I appreciate the gift sub. I think the robot's got some type of weird kink. Kevin James. I don't think I've ever seen Kevin James make a political statement. I like King of Queens. That was one of my favorite. It reminds me of like growing up when we had to watch the TV and it came on CBS or whatever, like 8 p.m. I like that, but I don't think I've ever seen him. I don't think I've ever seen him. Rob Schneider is so fucking unfunny, even though he's a Trumper, but he does have, I shared this in Discord the other day. Hold on. I'll go grab it. He only has one funny bit that I think I've ever seen in my life, and he just recently did it. It's about his grandpa avoiding the war. Let me see if I can find it. Butthole Knobs. Here it is. His grandpa fighting in D-Day. This is actually a funny bit.
You know, when I was 10 years old, my dad told me that
all of his stuff is everything I see now. I guess I don't watch his specials and shit or his comedy shows. It's just all Justice Warrior and stupid posts he's made because he doesn't understand immigration or immigrants or anything. But this is a funny bit.
You know, when I was 10 years old, my dad told me that the most consequential event of the 20th century was World War II. And that one of the most consequential events of World War II was the liberation of Europe, D-Day, June 6, 1944, and that my grandfather was there. So I said, can I go talk to him? Can I go talk to him? He says, no, 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 no. Your grandfather suffers from this thing called survivor's guilt. Why did he survive when his friends around him were all killed that day? So if he wants to talk about it, he'll talk about it, but if he doesn't, he won't. Just, oh, fuck, you know. So we used to go see him every Sunday. Finally, one Sunday, my dad said, hey, Robbie, Grandpa wants to talk about D-Day. I was like, what? No, yeah, just let him do the talking. So I went in there, and I said, Grandpa, you can tell us about D-Day? What was that like? And I'll never forget. He told me.
Well, I was sleeping. Butthole Knives _ gifted Restream but a subscription. Butthole Knives _ gifted a tier 1 sub to Restream bot. They have given 3 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you very much for the gifted sub. Yes, Butthole Knobs, 100%. His grandpa's telling him about D-Day. Here we go.
What was that like? And I'll never forget. He told me.
Well, I was sleeping in the morning. And since the Amerikaners started attacking, I said, merk schnell weg auf, they are coming. They are coming. Herr Hitler was right. They are fucking coming. Ich habe eine große Schwanzstuke und roten Dicke. So we're shooting. Killing as many Americans as we could.
That's the first funny twist, right? He was a German on D-Day.
But there was too many, and then the fucking Canadians start fucking coming. Luckily, we had booby traps, so bombs were going fucking off, and arms and legs, American arms and legs were fucking everywhere. I picked them up, I threw the American arm and the leg, but there was too many. Finally, we ran out of ammunition. I threw down my weapon, put on the woman's dress, snuck into Belgium, sucked a few dicks, but I survived the war.
Wow. That's the funny part. He put on a dress, threw down my weapon, put on a dress, snuck into Belgium, sucked a few dicks, and survived the war. That's a funny bit, honestly. That's a pretty funny bit, especially for Rob Schneider, who's like, I never think he's funny. So there you go. Kid Rock makes music for people who know exactly how much Sudafed you can get for a stolen catalytic converter.
Makes music for people who know exactly how much Sudafed you can get for a stolen catalytic converter. Kid Rock makes music for people who vape in the break room at AutoZone. Kid Rock is for people who have 2 washing machines on the front porch and a 1978 F-150 up on blocks in the yard that's doubling as a chicken coop. Kid Rock makes music for people who wipe their butts with coffee filters. I do not like anything about Kid Rock as a person, but also, it kind of sounds like you hate poor people. Now, I am not being sanctimonious here. I have made these jokes myself. I've been making them my whole life. I grew up around this type of person. Not
Kid Rock has donated all of his last album's earnings to Trump. $413 of cash, 12 catalytic converters, 34 bottles of Sudafed.
Around people like Kid Rock, he grew up rich. I'm talking about actual people from the trailer park, not people who just adopted it as an aesthetic. But the political movement that Kid Rock has thrown himself into, I think purely for profit reasons, has always had one extremely effective message, which is that this is not actually about a difference in opinion on policy. This is about a war between social classes. Wokeness, they say, is not...
No. It is not a social class. That's a completely wrong take. It's not the poor versus the rich or whatever. They think it's good versus evil. That everybody that's left is somehow satanic, evil, devil worshippers, and Christ is somehow on the MAGA side.
Not about social justice. It is not about trying to stand up for minorities. It is rather about a bunch of upper-class college kid, mostly in and around cities, who see rural, poor Americans as subhuman. And the way they sell it is by setting these little traps, where they will associate themselves with things that are seen as low class, like fast food or NASCAR or monster trucks. Then when the well-meaning, high-minded progressives come in to criticize him, they will also criticize this. Because
in fact, a lot of people on the left want to make it about fucking the rich versus the poor, right? Like, the poor are exploiting us every fucking day.
At least on social media, we just can't resist taking those extra little shots. And they will say, we don't hate...
I don't even think of this as a poor thing. I think of this as a crackhead thing, right? A drug addict thing. Catalytic converters, copper pipes, copper wire, all that shit.
Kid Rock's fans, because they're poor, we hate them because of their terrible opinions. Many of my friends would not be safe in a neighborhood of his fans. But when they insult those fans, they don't talk about their opinions. They insult them for being poor. These are people who know the street value of copper.
I think that's a bad take.
You understand why, to a neutral observer...
Oh, you want to hear something horrible that happened to me? I shave my head every few days, right, with a razor in the shower. So... on Valentine's Day, I was in the shower shaving my head. Mariah likes it shaved so it doesn't prick the inside of her thighs. Anyways, I have a spot right here where I have to like pull the skin tight to like get it as slick as possible. And I pulled the skin. I went to hit it with the fucking razor and was doing it too quick or something and caught my fingernail with the razor. Now, I catch my fingernail with a razor all the time. Usually, like, it leaves, like, indents, just, like, cuts into my fingernail, right? This, I hit it fast. I hit it hard, and it cuts a chunk about this big and laid up my fucking fingernail. Like, I've had to cut my fingernail back so far, it was, like, into like, fucking bleeding to get that chunk gone. And there's still a little piece of it there. You can't see it on camera. There's still... like, I cut a pretty good section, and it turned my fingernail fucking up. Like, it was bad.
It would appear that you don't just hate their opinions, that you also hate everything about how they live and how they...
As soon as it hit, like, it was like one of those times, like when you stub your toe in the middle of the night or whatever real bad, and, like, you're in shock, but you know the pain is coming. It just isn't there yet.
Dress and how they do their hair. You hate the state of their hygiene and their teeth. You hate the cars they drive, the music they listen to, the movies they watch, the TV shows they watch. You hate the religion they...
that's not my butthole finger, so I was good.
Worship. You hate the way they talk. You hate the way they walk. It makes it seem like when you then turn around and talk about economic justice and how you can see a future where everybody is taken care of, that your ideal vision of the future does not include them. That when you are mentally imagining a poor person that you are helping, you are imagining a fashionable poor person.
I tried using an electric razor, specifically an electric razor that's made for heads, like it has all the blades or whatever, and it worked all right. It's not as good. It never gets as close. I even tried it for like 2 months, like... because if you don't know, like with an electric razor, especially on your face, I don't know about your head, but on your face, like your hair gets used to it or something, and it starts cutting better. Like the longer you use it, basically like you train your hair with an electric razor, or at least that's a wives' tale or something that I've always heard. And it does seem to work on your face. Or maybe you just get used to how badly it shaves. I don't know. But on my head, it never worked, even though I did it for like fucking months. We watched that one. We're through that one. We got that one. We did Up Church.
anyone a liar, but I do have decades of experience. Look, I'm not calling anyone a liar, but I do have decades of experience watching people lie. And here are 4 techniques they resort to when they're cornered.
It is like Velcro. Like when it's like the stubble's so thick on my head that when it like starts getting long, it is like Velcro. Like fucking sticks to it.
The first is deflection.
Even pulling a shirt on will like get stuck to my fucking head.
The Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin.
That's not Raskin, by the way.
Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000, and the NASDAQ smashing records.
Make it about something or somebody else. Try to stop the line of questioning altogether by bringing up unrelated issues, and in this case, really unrelated issues. Maybe they'll forget they asked the question in the first place. Next is something called obfuscation.
Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I don't understand what that means.
Will the public learn about men, who they are, who abuse these girls? What does that even mean, dude? What does that mean?
So, in response to a question that's as clear as day, the person suddenly appears confused, and in their mind, if they're confused about the question, they shouldn't have to answer it. Moving on, let's take a look at the overt display of contempt.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes or no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No, A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F.
This is another form of deflection, but with a healthy dose of arrogance thrown in. Instead of answering the question, they belittle it, and they belittle the person asking it.
I would never make it an hour. I would drive off a fucking cliff first.
The overall strategy is the same, though.
Even if we both die, worth it.
Avoid the direct answer that you can't afford to give. Number 4 is something we see a lot of nowadays, and I like to call it whataboutism.
None of them ask Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein.
Wait, you think I did something wrong? Well, what about that guy? As if someone else's actions somehow excuse your own. Folks, when you have the truth on your side, you don't need deflection or obfuscation or any of that. You just answer the question. Otherwise, you run the risk of being called a liar, and nobody wants that. What other ways do people avoid telling the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments and follow me here and at Steve.
Pretty good job breaking down all the different ways.
Look, I'm not calling anyone a liar.
Plus, I like the guy's voice, so that was a plus. The SMART Act, or the SAVE Act, Save America Act is what it's called now.
Or a whole host of different documents. This law requires a passport or an original birth certificate or a whole host of different documents that prove you were born
And they all better match exactly.
in the United States or are a naturalized citizen.
This lady is a liar and a manipulator.
What?
I bet you she's not. I bet you're just a silly goose. Let's see who's right.
If you're over the age of 18 and have any life experience, it's going to be extremely hard to get access to this paperwork. Mine's in a filing cabinet in the other room.
Yeah, just because you have yours doesn't mean everybody has theirs.
Ah, yes. The old my lived experience must be the same as everybody else's in this country. You have access to your documents, and that's wonderful for you. Yours is in the filing cabinet in the other room. What if somebody else has had theirs in the filing cabinet in the other room, and then their house burned down, they lost everything they own? What if somebody else was in the filing cabinet in the other room, and a tornado ripped through their home, and everything they had is gone?
She goes on to say that 21 million Americans are going to have a hard time getting access to this paperwork, and it'll shut them out of their voting rights. Oh my gosh, if you don't have this paperwork on hand, you know there's a government office that you might actually have to fill out a piece of paperwork. Shudder.
You know what's hilarious is that you are being so condescending, and yet it's very obvious to anyone who watches this video that you've never read the Constitution. Because had you read the Constitution, you would have stumbled across the 24th Amendment. And if you read the 24th Amendment, you would know that going into that big, scary government building to fill out a piece of paper costs money. And if you're going to charge anybody anything to participate in voting, that's called a poll tax. And that's prohibited, explicitly so, by the 24th Amendment.
Please stop buying into the bullshit that they're shoveling. There's a lady in her fucking comments that's losing her mind saying, Trump just doesn't want women to be able to vote.
You know why that lady in her comments is saying that? Because in this country, there are more than 69 million married women who do not have a birth certificate.
You're supposed to use the 321 rule when storing data, right?
That matches their legal name. And according to the SAVE Act, if your ID and your birth certificate names don't match, you can't use either of those documents to prove who you are or that you're a citizen here. And that means you have to get a different form of ID that proves both of those things. Every other option that the SAVE Act lists...
Everybody already proved that they were an American citizen, whether you show an ID when you go to vote or not. When you registered to vote.
Costs money. Again, poll tax.
They know that there is a bunch of illegal immigrants out there voting in our elections, enough that it actually affects the outcome of a lot of these.
But even the Heritage Foundation did a study, and it was like 0.000014% of all the votes or some shit.
Elections.
Really? Is that so? Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you prove it to us?
321 is what they use in, at least for like computer data, but it's three copies of something stored in two different ways. So like a physical copy or a digital copy, or maybe one's on disk and one's on fucking floppy. I don't know. And then at least one offsite storage location. 321.
Why don't you find a whole bunch of data? Why don't you find a whole bunch of reputable sources reporting on that data and make a video? Share all the information that you've gathered with us. Prove it. Prove that there is this abundance of undocumented immigrants voting in our federal elections, so much so that they are impacting the outcome of said federal elections. We would love to see that. Now, in the meantime, while we are waiting for your video.
And you know, if they had this data, they would immediately share it. Like, hey, in this city, 30% of the voters were illegal immigrants, and they actually caused this person to lose, but they don't, right? They just have the claims with no data to back any of it up.
Let's revisit my initial question, shall we? Was she a liar and a manipulator, or are you just a silly little goose? Let's let the audience decide, shall we?
I like this guy's channel. He does Elder Millennial a lot. Hold on. I think the next video is about...
Swalwell is not legally allowed to run for governor of California.
Sure he is. But considering you are the internet's resident silly goose and aggressively allergic to information, let's hear what kind of wild conspiracy theory you're following today.
Because the rules in California to be able to run for governor are that you have to be a resident of the state, like have your primary residence there for at least 5 years before you run. Therefore, he is ineligible to run for governor. There's no gray area here. There's no we might be able to find. No, there's none of that.
I want to be governor of Tennessee.
Of Washington, D.C.
Think they'll let me?
Because he declared his primary residence to be Washington, D.C. on legal documents, by the way, so he could save money on taxes. See, he didn't want to pay taxes in California because the taxes he's imposed are fucking ridiculous. But sorry, Eric, now you're disqualified from running for governor. Couldn't have happened to a better person.
Oh, I see. So you just...
let's look that up. Fall off the bone pork ribs by smoking them at 225 degrees for 3 hours unwrapped, 2 hours wrapped in full with liquid, and 1 hour unwrapped with sauce. This method ensures a deep smoke flavor, maximum tenderness, through steaming and caramelized bark on all ribs. That's pretty good rule. I like it.
Like the guy, so you found some wild misinformation about it and decided to run with it, huh? All right, let's break this down. First of all, Civics 101, Eric Swalwell is a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. He deals in federal law. State property taxes in California, if you have a problem with those, you want to talk to the state government, not the federal. Okay? Now, secondly, you're taking what the Trump administration is telling you as fact. And you shouldn't do that, because it never is. That is a classic silly goose move. Trump and his director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, Bill Pulte...
You think I'm going to have a Chinese operative in the governor's mansion? Get out of here.
...has filed a lawsuit against Eric Swalwell, claiming, just like he did...
Bold of you to ask, though, Atsuko. Pretty based.
Adam Schiff and Letitia James, that he is committing mortgage fraud by having 2 primary residences listed for tax evasion purposes, to which Eric Swalwell has countersued Bill Pulte in the Trump administration. And it's interesting, older millennial, that you mentioned that Eric Swalwell declared that D.C. residence on legal documentation that was his primary residence. Shall we check the legal documentation, what we're referring to? I think we should. Here is what Eric Swalwell actually said on that legal documentation that you seem very concerned about. The allegation in Pulte's referral are patently false. By the way, this is the countersuit filed as official court records by Eric Swalwell's lawyers. Indeed, Representative Swalwell explicitly disclaimed any intent to occupy the District of Columbia home as his primary residence in a sworn affidavit attached to his mortgage agreement. The affidavit made clear that the home would be his wife's primary residence, not his own. Representative Swalwell was and remains a permanent resident of California. So, the very legal documentation that you were so adamant in referring to actually proves you wrong. But, like I said, big behavior. Better luck next time.
Eric Swalwell,
big blow in a guard behavior.
Governor of California.
If you Democrats could just comply with ICE, like
I like this guy's channel,
comply with the mask mandates and the vaccines and the social distancing, maybe, just maybe, the world will be a better place.
Yes. You know, I too, from time to time, like to compare apples to boots.
You Democrats could just comply with ICE, like you comply with a mask mandate.
Hey, just a little tidbit about the left's new hero. Yeah, she only has custody of one of her kids.
This was all a lie, by the way.
She only has custody of one. Is that her domestic partner, a woman, yeah, she likes to beat the shit out of kids and put cigarettes out on their arm.
Joe, how many times do I have to tell you not to be a silly goose? There's a reason why I refer to you as the internet's resident silly goose, because you are just so aggressively allergic to information that it's comical. There is an old saying that goes like this: live by...
It's because they use memes as their short, like they just see something on Facebook and they're like, or Twitter, a right-wing meme, and they're like, oh, that must be true.
By the sword, die by...
Someone else looked it up and made a meme of it.
And this, particularly today, applies to you, older millennial. Your sword of choice, for some reason, was...
Not Chinese. I got you, Itsuko. Not Chinese.
X. So,
had something in my eye.
Here we go. Renee Good, lesbian girlfriend, was arrested for putting cigarettes out on the kids and charged with domestic abuse. This is where the rumor started. And if it's good enough for you to use as a source to make this claim, then you're going to have to accept this as a source of debunking, because you don't have to scroll that far. It's the first response. Here's what Grok says. Based on searches of news outlets, public records, and official resources as of January 8th, 2026, no verified reports confirm Renee Good's partner was arrested for domestic abuse or harming children with cigarettes. This seems to be an unconfirmed rumor. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Have a good one there, you silly goose.
All right. You remember we covered the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping? This is the guy they picked up for questioning, by the way. I don't think he had anything to do with it. Oh, man, is it not going to play? Maybe I'll refresh it.
Carlos, what do you want people, your name's everywhere?
I'm innocent. That's all.
They picked this guy up while we were live the other night, and somebody said, oh, they just picked up a guy 5 minutes ago or whatever. Who's this guy?
Were you shocked? Tell me.
Come on, like, what do you expect me to do? ¿Cómo quieres que reaccione cuando algo pasa así? Pero yo no sé qué está pasando. Me agarraron como si yo fuera un criminal. Me secuestraron. They held me against my will. They didn't even read me my rights until 2 hours later. Okay? You know, mira, my wrist is all swollen.
From
the handcuffs. Like,
and did you have any idea that this was about? Do you know who Nancy Guthrie is?
That's the problem. No, I don't know anything.
You were like, where is this coming from?
How did they come up on you?
I don't know.
Like, were you just driving around?
Yeah, working.
They said you were
door dashing.
GLS.
Oh,
how'd they pull up on you? Like,
I don't know why they thought this guy was like had something to do with it, but he's like, I don't even know who it was.
I pulled up on them. They were following me. Yeah, they were following me. Marana. This is Santa Cruz County, and Marana was down here. It's like, come on, 2 and 2.
And so then when they came up on you, what did they say? Like, what did they say?
Nothing. Literally nothing. They just told me, stop moving. Like, what's your name? Carlos. And that's it. They put me in the cop car. You gotta wait like 2 hours. I waited like 2 hours until the detectives came here and everything.
I did hear they found some gloves on the side of the road somewhere.
When they finally told you this was
and just like I said, that's a pretty identifiable backpack. They were able to. It was a Walmart backpack. It's like an $11 backpack. So
kidnapping. Like what were you thinking?
Like, what the doing here? I didn't do anything. To be honest, like I'm innocent.
And you don't even know who the lady is. Do you know who Savannah Guthrie is?
No. Nothing. I don't follow the news.
Right.
I don't watch.
You don't watch the Today Show.
No.
So this was a complete shock.
It was.
What kind of questions were they asking you?
Nothing. They didn't ask me no questions.
So they just said
nothing.
So
they just sent me in the car. They investigated my car and this van, and that's it. They didn't ask me no questions, no nothing.
Did you get the other car back, or they still have it?
No, it's right there.
Oh, they gave it back to you. So
yeah, it's like.
And they said you can go.
It must have been like a car match or something, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And how did they treat like the people you were with, your girl, your child?
Oh, I don't want to speak about that. You know what I mean?
How's your family? They scared everybody. I was gonna say they scared everybody, huh?
Yeah, they're all in shock right now.
Wow.
Did they damage the house? Yeah.
What did they do to the house?
They broke the doors. What else? The garage door in the back.
So what are you gonna do now?
I'll try to clear my name. I didn't do anything. I mean, I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name. And I'm done. Just look at what I'm putting my family through.
You're on
not just them.
News now.
Not just them. Even my parents in Tucson. Yeah.
And your mother-in-law was worried about you. She was saying it doesn't look anything like it.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, what the
Why do you think they came here? Why did you think they came to you?
If I would have known that answer, I would have given it to you, but I don't.
So you have no idea what led them
No,
to
I
you?
do not.
Nothing. They didn't
Nothing.
give. They didn't say car make, a license, nothing.
Nada.
Carlos, what do you want people?
So that was the guy, and then Savannah Guthrie put out a new video today. Basically, they're testing DNA from the gloves with DNA they found at the house that doesn't match anybody related, and then this new video came out.
I wanted to come on.
I feel bad for the family, but it seems like it's
been too
dragging on a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's probably been a long time to hope for survival, but I mean anything could happen.
Weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing.
Never too late to do the right. Oh shit! Never too late to do the right thing. Was that the end of the video, or did I skip it being an idiot?
And we believe in the essential goodness. And we are here. We're alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here.
It's a long time to be a missing person.
We believe.
Somebody said it's fishy because she's an old lady and no one kidnaps old people for ransom. I don't think it has to do with the age. I think it's like, are they wealthy or is their family wealthy or not?
And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
DNA of unknown male found on glove near Nancy Guthrie's home. Glove found near Nancy Guthrie's home appears to match those worn by suspects. Why Nancy Guthrie's case has gripped the attention of the U.S. No news conference scheduled for Sunday, Sheriff's Department says. Authorities attempt to detect Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker using a signal sniffer. Arizona State Rep blasts true crime content creators for doing more harm than good. Arizona Rep Alma Hernandez, who represents Prima County, blasted random wannabe journalists and YouTubers in an X post on Saturday for doing more harm than good in the investigation. Let law enforcement do their job. Stop following them during SWAT operations and playing detective, she said, adding that she is sick of the constant lies and called some of them and calling for them to go home. I do hate the weird true crime people like show up. There was some that like got the dad of a missing girl drunk and tried to fucking sleep with him and shit. Like they go way fucking too far. Enters the third week. A guy between 5'9" and 5'10" with a 25-liter Ozark Trail backpack swarmed two locations near Guthrie's home. Late Friday night, more than a dozen law enforcement vehicles, including SWAT and forensic teams, swarmed a residence on the edge of the Catalina Foothills neighborhood, a short drive from both Nancy Guthrie's home and the home of her older daughter and son-in-law. Multiple roads were closed for about 4 hours while officers conducted activity related to the Guthrie case. But despite initially posting that a written statement about Friday's activities would be forthcoming, the department ultimately left the scene without explaining why they were there. Because it's a joint investigation that requests the FBI. No additional information is currently available. Local deputies and FBI investigators also converged on a second scene in the parking lot of a restaurant about 5 minutes away from the residential neighborhood they had sealed off. They were seen investigating and photographing something in the trunk of a gray Range Rover. A tow truck eventually hauled the SUV away. It is unclear whether the activity is connected to the Guthrie case. No govs were found at the home. They found them on the side of the road. Just the whole knot. Trump. Of course, Trump's got to weigh in. Somebody either knew what they were doing very well or they were amateurs. They were either the best kidnappers in the world or the worst. We got Kash Patel looking at both options. He can keep an eye on either option. These are some other videos I didn't play for the show the other night, but I had feed up.
Trump. Sorry to scare you like that, but what I'm about to show you is how the Trump family is becoming richer every day off the back of American families just like you. But first, watch this.
Welcome to American Bitcoin. 35,000 of these servers right here, all liquid cooled. Every single day we mine about 2% of the world's Bitcoin supply.
So while Eric Trump shows off his family's newest Bitcoin mining facility, what he conveniently forgets to tell you is that the families and the communities around him will suffer the consequences without reaping any of the benefits. And they will pay by giving up electricity and water, but all of America will pay because this is a family business, which means that the grifting goes all the way to the White House. But let's go in order. I have a deep dive on my Substack, but consider first that the plant uses about as much energy as 150,000 homes. That means
their plant that he's standing about and bragging about uses as much power as 150,000 homes.
that Texas, whose power grid is already on the brink of collapse, will have to allocate some of its power away from families to make sure that Eric Trump, Don Jr., and the rest of the club can mine Bitcoin. And this facility also uses water, a lot of water, about 300,000 gallons a day, with peaks of usage of about 1 million gallons a day. Water that thousands of households in the area will of course not be able to use. And if you think that's bad enough, wait until I tell you what this guy is doing. Because Daddy Trump is also working the grift from inside the White House to make sure that the value of every Bitcoin mined at the expense of millions of Americans is worth as much as possible. And he's doing that by exploiting the executive authority with which the Constitution entrusts him. Because Trump has issued 2 executive orders. One is this one, which prohibits federal agencies from promoting digital currencies that would compete with Bitcoin.
So here's what I think about her life-sustaining meds. I don't know that it's as true as they want it to sound. I think she probably needs medication. If it was me and it was my mom and she needed some type of medication to live, I would have announced the name of the medication immediately and made sure that the kidnappers knew you need, if you're wanting a ransom, go get XYZ medication or find it somewhere or do something, because she's going to die without it. But the fact that they just said it's life-saving meds, I think that was to put more pressure on them to be like, hey, let's do this quick, because if she doesn't have this medicine, she'll die. And they've never released what the meds were. I think that was more of like a bluff, kind of like, oh, we got to do this quick. She can die without it. Because why would we not know every detail about this medication? So hopefully keep her alive. I don't know. It seems kind of weird.
Bitcoin and establishing a de facto mandate to use Bitcoin. And the other one is this one, which establishes a strategic reserve specifically for Bitcoin that ensures strength and stability for the millions of dollars of Bitcoin that the Trump family has so far amassed. But why stop at executive orders when you can do even more damage by using federal regulations? And that's exactly what Trump did when he told banking regulators to implement a sort of deregulation of banks' limits in handling cryptocurrency, which makes the Trump family richer while creating real, tangible risks for American families who have their cash deposited in the same banks. And just to make sure that there are zero hurdles between him and richness, Trump instructed the DOJ to stop investigations and prosecutions of crypto platform regulatory violations, making it easier for large crypto investors to gain the...
Not to mention all the crypto pardons he's already given out.
And make even more money. So the next time somebody tells you that Trump is working for free because he loves America, you show them this video and tell them that the only kind of person that Trump really loves are the poorly educated.
I like this guy's account too. I don't know why I'm not following it.
It's wild how short people's memories are. Under Obama administration, 56 people died under ICE custody. 56. Somehow, no mass riots.
Is this a joke? To me, it's the proud ignorance that is confounding, and I don't know if it's rooted in lack of math skills or just broad denial to acknowledge reality, but let me try to help. You do understand that Obama was president for 8 consecutive years, right? That total you gave us is for 8 full years of Obama presidency. Trump has been president for less than 13 months since these human rights violations and constitutional offenses started. And this is the latest event because the numbers are rising so rapidly that it's impossible to keep a definitive toll, but as of this morning, the number of deaths in ICE custody since February of 2025 is at 38. That's 38 people in 13 months versus 56 56 in 8 years. And I'm no math wizard, but if we take 38 over 13 months...
And there were people against Obama. They called him the deporter-in-chief. There was fucking protests. Like, here's a picture of one. Stop deportations, not one more. Mr. President. Like, there were, he just wasn't gunning people down in the fucking street, like U.S. citizens assassinated in the goddamn street. Pistol to the back of the head style.
Projected out to 8 years, like you did for Obama, we get a total of 307. 307 compared to 56. That is a 450% increase. Visually, that looks like this. This means that under Obama, the monthly incidence was about a half a person a month. Under Trump so far, that average is over 3.
That account, that black woman, her name is Team with Liberty, or T with Liberty. And I feel like she gets on social media kind of like the elder millennial, even though she's a black woman, and just lies so white conservatives like her more. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I don't know.
3 people every single month. But that is not enough, because right after you say this.
Obama deported over 3 million people, and a lot of them were fast removals. No full due process.
And I will do a separate video and a Substack deep dive on this, but I really need you to understand one thing. There's a huge difference between apprehension and immediate deportation at the border of people who are trying to enter the country and kidnapping in the middle of Chicago or Minneapolis, fathers who've been in the country for 30 years and then sending them to Sudan
that is
in the
true.
middle of the night. Ma'am, when we talk about due process, trust me, we know what we're talking about.
From what we see, there's no telling what they've got on the fucking databases and facial recognition scans and shit, but they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad with public facing. And then they call this the most transparent administration ever. Like, that's
video,
wild.
It's not the flex you think it is.
What is this one? This is another one I had. Oh, this is the Pam Bondi stuff. Or Caroline Levitt, I'm sorry.
I watched Caroline Levitt's press conference today, so you don't have to, and here's my overview. The craziest thing she says is she calls human trafficking a non-violent crime. I wonder why she would say that. She spoke for about 23 minutes. She didn't mention Biden, but she did mention Obama once. She says clean, beautiful coal is the cheapest and most reliable energy source out there. Here are some energy sources that are cheaper than coal. Wind, solar, hydropower, and geothermal, all cheaper than coal. Despite the fact that I could look all of that up in 15 seconds, she says that clean, beautiful coal is what keeps the lights on, and it also drives down the cost of electricity across the country. She says that by Trump cutting regulations, we're going to save $1.3 trillion.
One thing they're really good at is all coming together and lying about an event that we're going to witness in a few seconds, right? Because everybody has cell phones now. They're really good at keeping their story about this is a violent leftist extremist, domestic terrorist who showed up with a gun and pulled it on agents and blah, blah, blah. Like, they're really good at that.
Government spending, which, by the way, is $3,700 per person, and you personally are not going to...
Trump thinks he invented the term clean, beautiful coal, and it's the only way he'll say it.
...affected by cutting of regulations because you personally are not doing anything that requires government regulations. Since she doesn't seem inclined, let me put that in layman's terms. The billionaire class who is building all of these things that are actively destroying our environment will save $1.3 trillion by them cutting regulations. She says Maduro is a narco-terrorist, obviously, and then says that this is the biggest tax refund season, and you're all going to see that as soon as you file your taxes. She says that every Democrat voted against tax cuts for the middle and lower income classes. Now, obviously, that's not true because the big beautiful bill only benefits the billionaire class and the top 1%, but she's going to continue to say that Democrats voted against it, and also you're going to save all this money on taxes. She will then just give 3 anecdotal stories about people who are supposedly making more money because of the Trump tax cuts. She's talking about someone who's like, I'm going to save money on no tax on tips, and then another person who's like, I'm going to save money on no tax on overtime, and then she tells some anecdotal story about a person who paid $3,700 last year, and this year they got back $2,500, but she doesn't explain their financial situation that would lead to those changes or any policy that happened that would lead to those changes. She says parents are now eligible for the Trump accounts, which the U.S. Treasury, that's your money, is going to put $1,000 into each one of those accounts, and then also you personally can put in $5,000 per year because people just have $5,000 laying around, and also everyone's employer, if they so choose, can also put in $2,500 per year, and then says that that amount by the time that they are 20 years old is going to be $1.1 million for every child in this country. Just to do some math on that, she's saying that if over 20 years you put $100,000 into your child's account, and also you somehow convince your employer to put in $50,000 over the 20 years, and also the Treasury gives you $1,000, then that $151,000 will equal $1.1 million just for some reason. She just says that. Time for questions. She says that anyone who's in this country undocumented is subject to deportation regardless of any crimes they've committed or their status within the immigration system. She says that 60% of people who are arrested by ICE are criminals and have a criminal record, and also that most of them are nonviolent criminals. I'm just going to be clear here. That is also saying that 40% of the people who ICE arrests do not have a criminal record. Sorry, you see this little hair right here? I thought I had it. She gets asked about the fact that Trump called the police chief in Palm Beach or whatever over the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was doing illegal shit. And
by the way, this is the recollection of a police chief 13 years after the supposed call happened. He just randomly gave a statement to the FBI saying that Trump called in and said everybody knew he was doing it and we should check out Ghislaine Maxwell. 13 years later, he just happened to recall. I don't believe that at all.
And she says that Trump has been consistent that he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of
And even if it is true, all that tells us is that Trump consistently has said he had no idea that Jeffrey Epstein was doing these things. But now, 13 years later, this police chief said, oh, he knew and everybody knew.
Because he was a creep and that phone call may or may not have happened. Bro, they are just saying anything in the Epstein files that relates to Trump is just totally inaccurate. You can't say for sure whether or not any of that happened. Everything that has Bill Clinton on it obviously happened, but anything that was Trump is probably a lie. Oh yeah, and then she just says we need to move on from the Epstein files. I wonder why. But then she doesn't move on from the Epstein files, and so she says that the 3 million documents that were released show our transparency. They're all redacted, and also it's not all the files by your own administration's admission. She says the SAVE Act is just reasonable and total common sense, even though it is a poll tax and a direct violation of the 24th Amendment of our Constitution, which it seems no one in this administration has taken the time to just take a moment and read the Constitution. If you want more information on that, you can just look at Joe Hubbard's videos. I'll tag him after Caroline Leavitt. By the way, if you appreciate that I tag Caroline Leavitt in every single video, please also tag Caroline Leavitt in this video. Then a reporter will ask her about the fact that Trump says that he wants to rename Dulles Airport, if you're from the DMV, you know about Dulles, and also Penn Station to put Trump's name on it. And she goes, well, I mean, he floated the idea. A reporter says, hey, J.D. Vance deleted a tweet he put out this morning about the Armenian genocide, and also last week, Trump deleted the racist post he put out about the Obamas. Is there a social media problem in the administration? She goes, nah, we put out messages about that, so you can just look at those messages we said about those things. Then she'll say that Trump constantly talks about this, is that he wants to lower the price of things like groceries, you know, that new term groceries, and says that he's constantly focused on lowering prices. Then a reporter brings up the True Social post I talked about yesterday, where he says that he's going to block the bridge that Canada completely paid for from being built, and then says that we should, because Canada paid for the entire thing, also have half of the control of that bridge and the things that come across it, and then also says that we didn't put enough American-made products into building that bridge, so for that reason, he can block the bridge that Canada completely paid for. I honestly don't know what the fuck she's talking about. A reporter brings up the border wall, and she says that Trump is always about under budget and ahead of schedule. Like the ballroom that was supposedly going to be $200 million, but is now $400 million, and also the additional $200 million that he's going to spend on the Kennedy Center, even though he was just refurbished during his last administration. All of these things are saving you money by spending hundreds of millions of dollars. Then a reporter brings up a meeting of governors where supposedly only Republicans were invited, and she says that he can invite anyone who he wants to the White House, and also no one reported on the fact that a governor who was invited last year didn't show up to the meeting, so apparently we're all good there. Then she says she's not sure whether or not Trump is going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell because he's focused on more important things that the American people care about. We want the fucking files! Then a reporter brings up how Howard Lutnick continued to have contact with Jeffrey Epstein after he was arrested for soliciting sex from a minor, and she's like, we totally support Howard Lutnick. We're totally behind him 100% of the way. Then she's clearly getting frustrated about the fact that everyone is calling her out for all of her constant, blatant lies, and she's like, there have also been a ton of accomplishments that no one is talking about, and then she goes on to list just a bunch of shit that no one really cares about, and then she'll say that rents are at a 4-year low. Prove it. Then she'll say that mortgage affordability is at an all-time low. Completely fucking untrue, considering you could buy a house like 50 years ago for like $16,000. And then she says for 9 months, no one came in illegally. Since I've already done way more cursing than I normally would do here, please do tag Caroline Leavitt and just tag at Caroline Leavitt. You're a cunt. That would be fantastic. I would really appreciate that. I have someone to thank. This person says, thank you for sparing us the long-winded insanity and keeping us informed so we have more time with the animals. Keep up the great work. Longtime 10%er here from Nicole G. Nicole G sent another book on helping me learn Spanish. If you don't know why I want to learn Spanish, you can look at my previous videos. Thank you so much for that. 10%ers, thank you for being here. Again, please tag her in this. I do want her to eventually acknowledge the fact that I'm tagging her in everything, and also all of these videos get 100 or hundreds of thousands of views for all of them. It would be nice if they would at least acknowledge that people are calling out their incessant nonsense. That would be fantastic. I watched Caroline Leavitt's.
I want to talk. He is very good. Let's discuss something. His channel name. I want to talk real quick about the pacemaker and Nancy Guthrie, because I think people are getting this wrong. Typically, when you get a pacemaker and it's to report to you, the pacemaker works on its own. It's got a battery. It does its own thing. But it's when it's reporting to a doctor, what they'll send you with is a box. This box plugs in or hooks to your Wi-Fi or whatever. You put it in your home, and it syncs with your pacemaker to take data. Typically, it connects like every 3 minutes. and it takes data and sends it to your doctor, uploads it to a server that your doctor can review later. There are some of them that if you're in an emergency medical situation, the doctor will be notified immediately and someone will call your phone, okay? Right? We know that. The reporting says that her pacemaker was connected to her Apple Watch. This is not true. No pacemaker company that I researched has an app for the Apple Watch. Instead of having this box in her home, her phone was functioning as the box, okay? And most apps, every 3 minutes, it'll try to connect and send some data to the server that your doctor will get later, every 3 minutes. It's not uncommon for it to disconnect. In fact, when my dad had his, he'd leave his phone in a different room. You had to be within 10 feet of the phone, give or take. It's Bluetooth. You had to be within 10 feet of the phone. My dad leaves his phone everywhere when he goes to the bathroom, walks outside, does this, whatever. His disconnected all the fucking time. Every 3 minutes, it'll try to reconnect, okay? She was taken from her home, and the Bluetooth, or her cell phone was left behind. She was not within 10 feet of her phone, so of course it's going to disconnect. I think they said it the last time it received data was like at 2 a.m. This does not mean her pacemaker stopped. It doesn't mean her heart stopped. It doesn't mean the pacemaker quit working or she died or she had a cardiac event. None of that. It just means she walked away and got more than 10 feet away from her phone forever. But there are people online that are like, oh, her pacemaker didn't connect to her phone again, so her heart stopped. It doesn't mean any of that. None of that. It's just confusing because people don't know. Typically, you wouldn't even have an app or a box or anything with your pacemaker. It just functions on its own inside your body continually for years and years and years and years and years, and you never have to do anything except tell them when you're going to get an X-ray or an MRI or shit. But she just had her cardiac events, her rhythm and shit was being logged. So next month when he sees a doctor, he'll pull up all of the logs and it'll automatically pull out any weird rhythms and he'll be able to sit down and review it kind of deal. But because she left her phone behind, I don't find that weird at all that she disconnected. The kidnapper's not going to fucking pull up the app, download it, and then sync it to her pacemaker. But yeah. I had to sync my dad's to his phone, and there was also a time where he had a chest rig monitor, which is just like a strap that goes on, that I had to sync to a box to his Wi-Fi so the data could be reported. I don't think that's weird at all because she left her phone behind. Even if she would have took her phone with her and then it didn't update anymore, I wouldn't find that weird either. The kidnappers probably destroyed her phone, but her pacemaker's, even if she's dead, her pacemaker's probably still trying to work. Right now. It's very rare for a pacemaker to fail. Yeah. There are a bunch of companies that make it, but I can't find a single one that has anything to do with an Apple Watch. I know it was reported. I think her family just told the detectives, like, hey, she has a pacemaker and it connects to her Apple Watch and it connects to her phone. Because I can't find a company that does any app-based stuff that goes through an Apple Watch. They do. iPhone and Android, all the pacemaker companies have stuff, but not specifically an Apple Watch. You have to be within 10 feet of your actual phone. So even if you got up to like go piss in the middle of the night and it just happened to be one of those 3-minute windows where it tried to connect, it would say it disconnected. When you come back, you lay down or whatever, your phone's on the nightstand, you lay down in your bed, it would then reconnect and do the thing. Yeah. So there you go. I don't think it's weird. And I've read a bunch of other people's opinions on it, doctors' opinions or whatever. That's how I got the little tidbit. I didn't know that they wouldn't make an Apple Watch version, but it seems like they just do phones, probably because it's more reliable and they don't have to develop a new app. If you have an Apple Watch, you have an iPhone, right? Or if you have a fucking Android watch like I do, you have a fucking Android. So why make another app, I guess? If she's on heart medication and they're saying it's life-saving, it's still not like you miss a dose and you die. Most people have like a taper window where you start getting sick, you start feeling worse, and it's a taper off. There are some medications that if you miss a few doses, you could have like seizures or withdrawals and blah, blah, blah. But I can't think of any medication. If you miss one dose, you fucking die. Or if you miss 2 doses, you die. It's usually like, you're getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and you're tapering off this medicine that's in your bloodstream and whatever. I don't know. I just don't hold out much hope because it's been a long time. Every day that goes on, statistically, the chances get worse, right? And it's been 3 weeks now?
We have a major development right now. The FBI did interview a credible accuser of the President of the United States, Donald Trump, according to new reports.
Wait, there is zero evidence that Trump ever did anything bad ever.
Reporting from Roger Sollenberger, completely undermining Pam Bondi's testimony on Capitol Hill, completely undermining any claims from Republicans that there was no accusations of wrongdoing on Trump's part. Let's break down Sollenberger's report because it's stunning. So remember this accusation, the first one. I'm not going to read it to you.
Oh, I had a dream she wasn't alive. I'm sorry. I thought the first dream you said that she was alive, and then you're like, I had a dream she died. I was like, damn.
Because it is graphic. It came from an FBI report that we had circulated in the past. We had found, well, Sollenberger found an FBI 302 form, a write-up suggesting that
the only thing I dream about ever since I saw the video is glory hole hot dogs.
An interview with an Epstein victim and her lawyer.
I don't know what that means.
July 24th, 2019. It was entered into the FBI's case files one day before Epstein was found dead in his jail cell on August 9th. Here's the top of the FBI 302 form. See, dated August 9, 2019. And Sollenberger found that the biographical details matched the initial tip, which notes a criminal history in South Carolina of the victim. Now, here's where it gets more interesting.
So we had what he's comparing is we had this tip line about this woman that was forced to suck Trump's dick. She bit his dick. He punched her. And then we have a separate case file about a woman that kind of fits all these background things, and she was interviewed by the FBI. And she claimed she did a lawsuit against Epstein and received a settlement and claimed that other wealthy men in New York City had trafficked her.
According to reports about the lawsuit, the victim claimed she had also been by other prominent wealthy men she met in other states, more specifically when Epstein took her to intimate gatherings in New York City.
Every time I astral project my conscience, I always fucking bump into Candace Owens.
Before that,
she's always trying to see world leaders' wives' genitalia. And I'm like, what are you doing in here? Like, you could go anywhere in the world. You're over here fucking dick watching fucking world leaders' wives? That's weird.
Filed a lawsuit against Epstein, receiving a settlement from his estate in 2021. You don't just get a settlement and win in a lawsuit like that if there's zero evidence. Now, that evidence could have been abuse at the hands of Epstein, right? Not of the president. But for several days now, several weeks actually, the Justice Department, even on Capitol Hill, Pam Bondi said that there was no credible evidence of any accusations against the president.
No, not credible evidence. She said there's zero evidence at all. She didn't say credible or unsubstantiated or substantiated or valid. She didn't use any qualifier. She just said there's no evidence at all.
But there was a credible accusation. The FBI investigated it. What happened with that investigation? We don't know. The tip, the FBI 302, was logged one day before Epstein died in his cell. I encourage you to go read Sollenberger's full report on his Substack. Spread the word. Follow for more. We have a major development right now. The FBI did interview a...
What other breaking news do we have there, Aaron Parnas? That's a pinned video. We saw that one. What's this? President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama get a standing ovation at an all-star game. He got gray quick, didn't he? Still looks in good health.
We have a major development right now. The FBI did interview a credible accuser of the...
What the fuck?
We have some heartwarming news this evening.
I thought this is the video we watched, I guess.
I want to introduce you to a man named Juan Leon in Minnesota. He's the owner of a tow truck business named Leo's Towing. And over the past several months, as Minnesota was surged with ICE agents, what he saw was something troubling. Cars were left behind across the metro areas in the Twin Cities, parked for days on the streets and parking lots, sometimes for days at a time. The owners were gone. In many cases, they were detained by ICE. So what did he do? He and his team sprung into action.
This is a good dude. He's been returning people's cars for free that were detained by ICE.
The vehicles,
and then let go.
Brought the vehicles back to the homes of the owners. They began picking up the vehicles, sending them back to their families, their owners, free of charge. And they've been doing it 24/7, and they've been doing it for free. His name is Juan Leon. The business company is Leo's Towing. Just want to give him a shout out tonight because I think that we need more heartwarming stories and we need more people willing to do good for the community. And he is turning a tragic situation into some semblance of goodness. So shout out to him. We have some heartwarming news.
Leo's Towing, if you're ever in Minneapolis.
We have some serious news right now. Ophelia Torres, a 16-year-old teenager battling an aggressive form of cancer, has passed away at the age of 16. She was instrumental in advocating for her father's release from ICE custody. Her father, who had been instrumental and important in ensuring that her medical procedures were being taken care of over the past 2 years while she fought this aggressive form of cancer, was detained by ICE authorities in October at a Home Depot. Because of her advocacy, he was released just days later. Without her advocacy, he wouldn't have been released. But now, just a few months after her advocacy, she has passed away. Her name is Ophelia Torres. She was 16 years old, and she had a very, very serious illness. My heart honestly just breaks for her entire family during this difficult time. Spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about. I'll have more to come soon. We have some serious news right now.
There you go. Let's watch something funny, maybe. What's this?
Sit down. Don't push me. Oh, sit the down, you ugly bitch. Get off of me.
Chaos broke out at Orlando International Airport on February 11th.
I feel like we've watched so many of these airport arrests. I don't know if we've watched this one before or not.
2024, after a woman allegedly pushed a child, resulting in the child suffering a minor head injury.
Damn.
The incident sparked a full-blown brawl with the child during boarding. Police were called in after receiving the incident.
Somebody pushed my kid and he bumped his head. We're fighting for 100%. I'll get thrown off this flight. I'm fine. But you're getting thrown off this flight too.
Battery one? Battery one.
All right.
No, you punched her.
Enough, dude. Back up.
Battery one. No. I'm 6 feet. We're good. Battery
I know,
one.
you're 6 feet.
I know, battery one.
I think we may have watched this. That's her husband advocating for her, right?
Who is she?
I don't know. She punched her, though, and knocked her tooth out. So when we get back to St. Louis, she's going to meet me and the district attorney that I work for. So.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
She came back to my seat. This is on the plane? On my seat. She walked back to my
I already hate her so much.
and punched me in the nose and took my tooth out. She's going to jail. Where do I press?
No, hon, I got it. We're going back to St. Louis. It's not good for her.
So, were you guys coming in or going out?
I think we're departing.
We're departing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I didn't see
at what point on the plane did this happen?
No, you need to talk to her. I just got here, so I don't know. All I know is she sent me a text that someone punched her.
Where and when did this happen?
Her seat was in Philly.
Sure. So I was in row 12. Is this the flight is coming in? No, I'm leaving. You guys are leaving Orlando. Okay, so you guys just boarded. So this is like literally now, like whatever, 20 minutes ago. Okay. So you never left the gate. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out.
Let's cut you off.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to.
I was seated in 12A. Somehow I missed him, lost him in the airport. So I come through the gate. I didn't have a boarding pass. I'm sorry. I'm like really dry. I'm like really thirsty because it was. So I get my boarding pass. It's 12A. They asked me, can you sit in the exit row? I said, yeah, fine. So I go in. I don't know who else she was there with, but her child, maybe 10, was literally standing in the row on his phone. And I was like, hey, can you move? Like, literally, I couldn't walk by. So he moved, and I walked by. She came back, and she got, don't ever talk to my child again. And I said, this is my seat. Are you sitting here? Get out of my face. I told her, get out of my face. She started punching me.
That's her tooth she's holding.
She said she tried to advise the 10-year-old to move because he couldn't walk sideways, but the child's mother turned around to confront her, after which she was punched.
And how would you like to proceed?
Oh, I press charges. Hell yes.
And which lady is
She's right.
So, Sam, do you have an idea on you?
Don't go over there.
Just step to the side right here, please.
Is it just you and the baby here tonight?
No, I got my other two sons over there. My mom and then two other kids.
All right.
tell him what happened?
Yeah, so when we was boarding on the plane, I had the 2 car seats, so I was getting the car seat strapped in. My oldest son was behind me. He can't sit down in his seat until I finished strapping in the car seat. And she got on. Right. Instead of waiting, she pushes him out the way and said, "You need to get him out the way." And then she walks and goes to her seat. So after I finished strapping in the car seat, I went to her seat. I said, "Next time you address the parent, you don't address the child. You don't put your hands on anybody's child." She gets the scream, "Get out my seat! Get out my seat!" She's pointing. I said, "Ma'am, all I'm telling you is don't touch my child and talk to me if you need me to get him out the way." So then she starts standing up as I backed up. And she's like, "Get out my seat! Get out my seat!" And she gets closer and closer, and she just mushes in my face. When she mushes in my face, that's when I reacted and grabbed her.
She mushes my face. I've heard that a bunch, but.
By her hair, and that's when she went to go bite me. So then that's when I just kept pulling. She grabbed me by my hair, and then that's when we just got to tussling in the seat from there.
However, the woman and child on this side had a completely different story. She said that the woman on the other side was actually the one who caused trouble first, and there were many witnesses for her.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're saying that she hit you first?
Yeah, she definitely hit me first. The flight attendant can attest to that. Everybody that was right there, because I backed up even the person in front of us.
Any of you guys have talked to the flight attendant?
I'm waiting for them to come up. Hello. Hi. So, can you tell me what happened?
So, we were boarded. Let's start with that. So, and I was at the lady all day.
You got the lady with the child here, and you got the lady with the tooth over there. Okay.
So, we're shoving kids out of the way for her to go to the seat.
She was shoving kids out of the way for her to go to their seat.
Okay. So we're shoving kids out. She was arguing because why are you touching my kid? Or you're pushing out of the way. From 0 to 100. And then I tried to get through the fight with them. We pulled hands and they were touching me. I got scratching my head, but I'm good now.
In the course of their issue, you got in the middle.
Yeah. Because I don't want this to happen. Oh, so I don't want this to happen.
So who, if you could, can you say who?
I saw they just had to do an emergency landing on a flight somewhere near Texas or whatever because some passenger just started vaping on the flight and refused to fucking quit.
Did the Delta rep ever make it to the checkpoint? First? And when I say touched, can you elaborate on that? The other lady grabbed her by the head?
Alright, so
flight's 85. Okay. Flight's boarding. This lady behind us is trying to get through. The lady at the gate she's already on the plane. Kids are in the aisle, farting around, whatever. This lady comes through, and according to witness, kind of pushes her way through the kids, blah, 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 yelling at the kids, get out of the way, get out of the way, pushing her way through. After that, she's sitting down. Mom goes up to her and says, "Hey, I don't appreciate that. Next time you have a problem, just ask, and I'll get the kids out of the way." At that point, the other lady, they start screaming back and forth. This lady behind us grabs the other lady's hair. The other lady says, "Oh no, we're not doing this," and goes to town. Ultimately, you can see the resulting damage. Huh? No, this is the primary.
Does she want to press charges?
Which one? Mom wants to press.
The victim?
Yeah.
Yes.
She hears her fly out.
They're supposed to fly out.
We're going to St. Louis. Plane's delayed. One of the flight attendants who got involved. And she was taking everything. She'll yes. Everything. Hold on. And we got a statement from the witness.
So she's going to definitely freak out.
Oh, I'm sure.
We want to separate them two because she's going to fight us, and he's freaking out too. They're both drunk. Oh, yeah. So at this point, we're good to go.
Both drunk.
Separate them.
Let them know what's going on.
The casino we went to the other night, surprisingly enough, you could smoke on the floor. There's ashtrays everywhere. A bunch of people in their fucking mobility scooters with fucking Pall Malls hanging out.
Sure. Explain to me what's going on. Sure. So obviously your wife got in some sort of altercation.
She got assaulted.
Okay.
Let's make that clear.
Okay.
She got assaulted.
Okay.
She's missing the truth.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So your wife has been listed as a primary aggressor of this whole incident, and so that and the other party does want to press charges. Okay.
Although her husband explained clearly to the police, it did not make any sense at all, and the police.
Atsuko, next time you come to Tennessee, I'll take you to the casino, I guess, and you could do your Chi-Com spying on the slot machines or whatever you do.
Thought that his wife was the main culprit in the incident.
So she's going to be living with us.
Get this on video. Don't touch me.
Oh, God.
The woman was then subdued by the police.
Okay, don't pull me. Sit down. Don't push me. Don't sit down. Get off of me.
Yeah, you need to calm down.
Yeah, and get off of me.
You're getting off because you know what? You're under arrest right now.
You're twisting my... When I get this on video, he's twisting my... He's twisting my wrist. I'm not resisting. That's a lie. I am not resisting. They are pulling on me. I'm not resisting. Get it. Get all of it. I am not resisting. You want to yell at me? I'm resisting. I'm not resisting. I am not resisting. I am not resisting. Get off of me. You're putting my hand. You're putting my hand. Don't push me. Are you getting off on this? Don't push me. You're asshole. Don't touch me. I can move my hand if I want. Don't tell me to stop. You wanted me. Air quote, wanted me. Get the fuck off me. feet up now.
You ain't nobody.
Bitch, you ain't nobody.
Able to do. Get off of me. Get off of me. Yeah, honey, you can't do it. Maybe this guy can do it.
Listen, you're going with us.
Okay, tell her to get off of me. You're hurting my hands. You're hurting my hands.
Then walk.
And then get off.
Oh, there's no way. Even if I vaped or smoked, there's no way I would cram in that little room at the airport with like 30 fucking ceiling fans where everybody's in there trying to fucking smoke as fast as they can before they get on a plane. God damn. It's like cancer in a cubicle. It's, hell no.
Walk, don't pull my hand. Walk. That way. He's coming. I'm walking. You nuts. Oh my God. No, this is right arm. Okay, you're on the ground 2 seconds. What are you making so hard? I'm not lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. I'm so lying. You're lying. You're lying.
Man, what are you trying to accomplish by behaving like
I don't know. You're trying to get your hard or something. I don't know. Because I am walking perfectly normal.
I don't know if they're trying to get their dick hard, but mine already is.
You're not. I am. You're lying. I am.
You're not accomplishing anything.
Neither are you. Not in life or anything. I know. It's hard.
I'm already old.
It's hard. So am I. I'm tired. Military. Oh my God. Has she done a pat down before? I'm going to touch my leg because the girl pissed all over me.
She said, you want to touch my pussy? It's wet because some other girl pissed on me.
She's never done this before. She's never done this before. Clearly. No, I got so much shit on my find it. She's never done this before.
Oh, man. Why are you behaving like this? What do you think you're going to accomplish?
I said I wanted to sit over here, then you wanted me to go over there. I'm done. I'm good.
Okay. We have a job to do.
Dude, I work with the cops all day, every day. I know that.
But you acting like this isn't going to help anything.
I'm not acting like anything.
Well, you are.
Let me turn to you. Ooh, touch me. Yeah, baby.
See, right, that's what I'm talking about.
Because it's ridiculous that the victim is going through this. I know she needs training. Feel me up. Get into my... you want I said I worked in the jail for 22 years.
She tried to explain to the police, but her words were completely meaningless to the police.
This doesn't bother me. Oh, wow! My toe, I have neuropathy!
That's my neuropathy toe! Stupid bitch!
Yeah.
Tell me what you're doing.
Dude, the fucking, I gotta get wealthy and do more gambling streams. The fucking gambling streams has more videos or more views than my last couple videos, and it's like new as fuck. It wasn't titled right. It wasn't shared anywhere. Half you guys didn't even fucking watch it. It's got more fucking views than my normal show.
And I'll do it. Okay, then get off of me and I'll sit down. You don't have to push me. I said I'll sit down. Don't push me.
Ma'am, you're under arrest. You're going to do it?
Yeah, and I said I'll get up.
Just throw her in the truck bed, dude.
Don't need to push me.
Because you haven't
We're leaving you guys.
consent, so please do it.
There you go.
All right, okay, get off. You don't need to push me.
You don't make the decisions, ma'am.
Now I need to sit up here.
It's enough. It's it. There you go. Watch it. No.
No, she's going to be rip hobble.
Get the rip hobble.
That's it. That's it. Throw the ground. It must be embarrassing. Hey. It must be embarrassing to be so weak. Is this on video, please? Sure is. Thank you. Because you guys don't know what you're doing, clearly.
The calmest she's been is when they're hobbling her.
Don't know what you're doing. Don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing.
You don't know. You don't even know what you're doing, losers.
Now you can see enough and walk.
Is she wearing a thong?
Now you can see enough and walk.
You don't know what you're doing.
Secret fanny pack. Yes, she's wearing a G-string.
Now you can see enough and walk.
It's her traveling thong. It's got a little sleep mask for her vagina built in.
wrist! Ow! 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 My wrist! My wrist!
Oh, my wrist.
My wrist!
My wrist.
I can't feel it. My wrist! My wrist! I can't feel it! Don't punch me in the stomach! Why are you punching me in the stomach? Don't touch my stomach, you fucking asshole! Don't fucking touch my stomach!
Well, it's kind of out.
I'll tell you better, you cocksucking assholes! I fucking Desert Storm, you fucking assholes! I don't care! I don't care! I can't breathe! My arms! My arms!
One of her wrists is bleeding.
Ow! Ow! I can't breathe! Oh my!
Damn.
Despite attempts to deny the crime and portray herself as a victim, she was eventually arrested by police and charged with assault and resisting arrest. The video is a reminder that anger and lack of restraint in public can cost us our freedom and dignity.
I don't know what this weird AI fucking overview is of it or whatever, but it did not make much sense. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. If you want to support the show, do it at the links or built-in bits or super chats or donations or these links. If you donate, leave a message so I can read it live on air. I appreciate it. It is my birthday. Well, it was my birthday today. Thank you guys for being here for my birthday and the stream and hanging out, the donations, the subs. Tomorrow's a tough day for me. It is my dad's birthday, so I'll probably be live if everything goes right. We'll see. I don't know. But thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. We'll see you about the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6 cents for the stupid shit. Well, my true believer, y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Wait. Stop. What? What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude, come on. Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a... Oh, my God. Damn it.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
Round 3. Down goes Nino. Please say it isn't so. Got him backed up on the ropes, trying to ram it down his throat. Now things are getting rocking. He was doing so well. It's all over. Hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on Cox that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit, sending runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby eating heathens. Believing in reason with no meaning is bullshit. Will Bird motherfuckers out here busting the grifts. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts, because you're
Good night, guys.